postseason. Fuck.
Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. As you can see here, we are not happy. I'm happy that you guys are here, and we're gonna have a group therapy session. I got my boy the Lando Show on. I got brother BA in here, Brandon Arrington, who, as much as I disagree with Brandon on a whole lot of stuff, I respect the hell out of his football opinion, and he challenges me each and every day. And we have a common thread here in the Dallas Cowboys. And I know Brandon's feeling the same way I'm feeling. I know Landon's feeling the same way I'm feeling right now, as the Dallas Cowboys have been eliminated, courtesy of the San Francisco 49ers in AT&T Stadium today in the wild card round. And we're going to react to it. Before I get into just everybody's, initial thoughts, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. We're real fans here. And when you want that real authentic emotion, Lando and I were there today on site, and we actually, me and Landon linked up, and his beautiful wife, they look like H&M models out there when I see them in person, and I come across these guys, and it's beautiful to watch. But we were out there, and it was a great environment, but we came up short. So please subscribe to the channel. Just keeping up with us, right? And Landon as well. He'll be back in here. But the other thing I want to mention is our sponsor, and I'm very, very thankful for our sponsor, to the thick and thin, busr.com/fanatic, the official sponsor, the official sportsbook, the official betting partner of Fanatic Perspective. Promo code sports100FP. We're doing 100% free play match, which means on your initial deposit up through, I believe, $1,000, you'll get a free play match on said deposit. So you'll be able to take advantage of that, betting on the playoff games moving forward, NBA, college basketball, what have you. So shout out to our sponsor, BUSR. Thank you for taking care of us and supporting this channel. Really, really appreciate it. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I lost some money on this because I did bet on my Dallas Cowboys. I still got my lanyard on here, BA. Like our boy Jim Sepulveda, who rocks the lanyards at work. I got my lanyard on here, and I know Landon had one too, because I saw he and his wife out there, and we were trying to bring that energy, and we did. But it's just unfortunate that this, our football team came up short. So I'm gonna share the comments up here in the chat as people are coming in. Please be respectful. The last thing I will say before I'm going to pass the mic to BA first, and then we'll go to Lando. But before I pass the mic to BA, I want to say congratulations to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
For winning this playoff game. Road playoff game. They were the first road team, I believe the only road team so far, because it looks like the Steelers are going to get up out of there as predicted and as expected. They were the only road playoff team to get it done, right? So shout out to them. Shout out to their fan base. I know I've been commenting on how annoyed I've been by their fan base, but that's because they're passionate and they give a shit like we do, right? Mm-hmm. They give a shit as much as we give a shit.
Damn right.
And they showed up in full effect. The section I was in, they were respectful. They were passionate. They were loud. And they had a presence at today's game. It was a whiteout. I did feel as though the Cowboys fans in the stadium overall, we did have that presence, and I think you could feel that at the end of the game, especially. But in terms of the San Francisco fans and whatnot and their fan base, congratulations. Y'all know how much of a big fan I am of Kyle Shanahan. I've expressed that to both of y'all, and congrats to them, and best of luck moving forward. But BA, I'm gonna pass it over to you just with your takeaways, man.
Oh, first of all, I'm hurting. I really am. You mentioned 49ers fans yeah, got a couple of I'm in a group read with. There was a lot of, for lack of a better term, shit talking going back and forth, and I thought we were going to pull out a victory easily. The one thing that did scare me going into this game is if you look at our defense, we're extra mediocre if we don't get turnovers. So that was a concern. Shanahan had a good script coming out of the game, drove right down the field. That really didn't bother me because I kind of assumed that Quinn would make adjustments as the game went on. But, seeing what they did in those first 3 drives, I was a little concerned, especially when you look at the script on the other side with Kellen Moore and what we came out and did. I was questioning a lot of things go there. Speaking of Kellen Moore, I'm curious if he's still going to get a look at head coaching position. So it puts me in a little bit of a conundrum. I don't know how I feel at this point about him coming back next year. I don't know how I feel about him with head coach duties, but after today's performance, definitely there's more question marks there. I go back to a Twitter conversation that you and I had, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, with a certain offensive lineman, not going to mention any names, Connor Williams, but you know how it is. And then I heard the fact that he leads the league in holding, and we sat him for 4 games. And there's one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to pro game, college game, whatever, is drive killers. Anything that puts you behind the chains, false starts, holdings, etc. And there was a couple of critical penalties by Connor Williams early in the game that I really think helped swing momentum back to the 49ers, especially when you look at what they did after getting the ball back in those situations. Defensively, man, I don't know if it was just me, but there were just times where I feel like, we usually are good at putting pressure on the quarterback. And in the second half, we did better. But in that first half, it's like we could not really do much. Steve, you and I talked offline about what we do with Michael Parsons, and we both agreed we put him inside the box and let him shadow Debo, make plays, and adjust from there. I did see that's how they started out the game, and in obvious passing situations, we see him come off the edge, etc. But I want to say the impact that I wanted him to have when he was in the box in that middle linebacker position, it was good. It wasn't great. We needed great. As I'm thinking about this, I can go on and on, but the net of it is I'm very disappointed. I'm very heartbroken. I think this is a game we should have won. This team is, contrary to what we've shown on the field today, is actually a really good team. Very opportunistic on defense, offense that put up some pretty good numbers. We just didn't execute. We didn't feature Tony Pollard enough, in my opinion. Zeke had very little to contribute, and we had drops that, in playoff games you just cannot have. So all this together made a perfect storm of us taking a loss today, and that's exactly what we did. We took the L. Hats off to the 49ers. They played well. They came on the road and they beat us in our house.
Lando, go in.
Man, I have legitimate questions for the coaching staff. We'll start there. Regardless of whether anybody thinks that Mike McCarthy has good clock management, bad clock management, can outcoach playoff opponents schematically, whether you can or cannot do that. Up for discussion. Whether Mike McCarthy coach teams are disciplined, not up for discussion any longer. The undisciplined nature that this team showed today was the number one reason why we lost this game. Why 14 penalties yet again. That's consecutive Cowboys games I've been on site for. We had the number one most penalties and penalty yards in a game. I'm referring to the Thanksgiving game against the Raiders. And then yet again, 14 more penalties tonight. That would have also equaled the previous season high for any team in any one game. So that's first and foremost. We had an official inexplicably run over our quarterback and our center at the very end of the game when, again, contrary to popular belief, whether you agree or disagree, the play was executed on that last draw there from Dak Prescott. Had a chance, he said in the post-game press conference that he looked up, saw 4 seconds on the clock when he was hit. So there would have been time to get the ball spiked. That's what Dak's words were. That's what I saw on TV. I believe that was the right call. You get in position to have one last shot at the end zone for a realistic chance to throw the ball into the end zone, right? To cash in for 6 points, as opposed to throwing 2 Hail Marys with 14 seconds left. Maybe one of them gets picked. You may not even get the second chance. Okay, so they're both risky plays. The Cowboys elected to go the route that they did with the draw. They executed to perfection. You could say whatever happened after that, after Dak slid, maybe he should have slid sooner. That's all up for debate. It was interesting. That's all I can say there. But if you want to take it back a step further, they should never have been in that position to begin with. So my thing is, you've got the ball 2 minutes and change left. You're right where you want to be. All this offensive firepower, all 3 of your timeouts left. Why can't we go win a football game? You're 2nd and 11. You're behind the sticks. The decision to rush a play call in, as opposed to letting the 2-minute drill, or letting the clock hit 2 minutes so you can take it, to the 2-minute warning there. Discuss your play call. If you're behind the sticks, when it's 2nd down and 11 there in that situation, I don't believe that's the right instance to rush a play in. I think if you're 2nd and 4 or 2nd and 6, 2nd and short or medium, if you have a positive play there, then you're going tempo, you're feeling good. There's a lot of plays that you can run 2nd and 4 or 5 and feel good about. 2nd and 11, once again, you're off script the way that you were all night long, not having any success moving the football. Why are we rushing a play call prior to the 2-minute warning? You have still all 3 of your timeouts. You're in perfect position. You are in control. All you need is 3 plays to get 11 yards. You discuss that at the 2-minute warning. You figure it out. You go play football. You go win the game. Now, again, why couldn't they do that? Why were we still in that position? If you want to take it back a step further than that, Kellen Moore. What happened to our number 1 offense in football going into week 8? I understand there was some inflation due to 2 very high scoring games against divisional opponents, that may or may not have wanted to be there at that time. What happened to this offense? Why did CeeDee Lamb only touch the football 2 times in the football game, one of which got negated? Why did Tony Pollard only have 4 carries, all of which came on the only drive in which we scored the touchdown up until the 3rd quarter, late in the 3rd quarter? Where is Amari Cooper still? He's kind of involved. He's he's there. He kind of comes in on these big, deep 3rd down and behind the sticks plays, but he's not a feature of the offense. Why is Dalton Schultz continuously this 5th round tight end, who's maybe you would say the 5th best playmaking receiving option on the team, if you even account for Blake Jarwin, which another question, where the hell was he tonight? I know he helps our running game a lot. No 12 personnel, dual tight end, pass catching threat involved in the offensive game plan. So I know I just rattled off a ton of shit right there, but I'm clearly frustrated. So I'm going to go ahead and stop. But those are all things that are going through my mind right now.
So, Kellermine and Music, thank you for the super chat. We on the channel appreciate it. And, just addressing the penalties, because I think that's at least for me, the biggest frustration coming out of this game. 14 penalties. I think it was 85 yards in total, more penalty yardage than we had rushing yardage on the game. If we look at the stat sheet, and this is something where I got to eat, me personally, right? And this is something where I've learned in my mid-30s here as a man. When I'm wrong about shit, when I'm wrong about certain things, I got to own it. And I felt as though that this offense was due. I knew we had things. I knew this offense wasn't perfect, but I felt as though that this offense, when not even the stage, I'm not going to say the stage, they're Cowboys. Every time they take the field, the stage is big and bright and the lights are on. I'm not going to say that. As many primetime games as we have, whether the opponent is good or not, I'm not going to talk about the stage. But in terms of the level of opponent and knowing there's a good football team coming in here to play us, I saw Victor Santiago commenting about how, hey, we got to give the 49ers defense credit. Absolutely, we got to give them credit. Nick Bosa left this football game. Sure. I believe
they're 2 best players. We're gone on the second half. Their 2 best players were gone on the second half, and we
Fred Warner was out too, right?
Yeah, most of the second half. He was done.
Mm-hmm. So
And those
they
are all
lose
pros.
all pro football players, right? Fred Warner, arguably, in my opinion, is probably the best linebacker in terms of pass pro, right? Or I'm sorry, not pass pro, in terms of pass defense, right? Zone,
I would
man,
put him top 5 just all around linebacker,
all around,
run,
all
pass,
around.
just
Yeah.
complete
High
high IQ guy,
IQ,
right?
man.
Football mind, the whole bit. What Fred Warner's resume already is, even when they went to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, right?
Yep.
Like Fred Warner's that guy. I called him out specifically in my preview for this game, so I'm not gonna brush away from that. But where I was wrong was my friends specifically talking about, hey, Steve, why aren't you more concerned about the offense? Why aren't you more concerned about what we're seeing and all these type of things? And yeah, the league is inconsistent as a whole. The league is up and down, and so is this offense. But at the end of the day, I didn't see us getting 14 penalties in a big spot like this. I thought that's something we would clean up. I thought that's something
words exactly, man.
Where we would have some level of self-awareness.
Yep.
Okay. Because one thing you will not hear from me, and we can talk about officiating if y'all want to go there in the chat. But look, the league told us what it was with officiating yesterday. If anybody watched Cincinnati and Las Vegas, the Bengals and Raiders, the league told us what it was with officiating. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear. I'm not here for it. And I'm sure 49ers fans feel as though there's some calls that went against them or situations that went against them that were, unfavorable, if you will. So I'm not going to go there with the officiating. But where I will go is the lack of self-awareness to improve those particular things or those particular issues that have plagued you throughout the season.
The
Self-scouting, right? Self-audit, internal audits, right? So I completely agree, Lando. Brandon, you mentioned earlier about Connor Williams, okay? And I'm not trying to single out anybody in particular, but you mentioned Connor Williams, and one thing I will say is, with Connor, I am at the point where you're right. You're right? In terms of the what impact the penalties have in conjunction with what the player is producing. And
there's no
where my frustration comes is that I will say this, I still don't agree with them flipping Connor Williams out for Connor Montgomery. I still didn't, because it wasn't bad enough at that point for them to make the call that they did, in my opinion. However, with what occurred and the significance of the penalties that happen, I mean, he gets called for a holding penalty with bad technique. He's getting run over on a play where Dak Prescott makes a great play, I believe, to break the pocket, get the ball downfield to CeeDee Lamb. We're seeing all these other quarterbacks around the league make plays off script. We see our guy make plays off script for them to be taken back. Psychologically, that shit hurts.
So it hurts bad, yeah. And it was all night tonight. It was all day.
Yeah, and just for further context, the conversation Steve and I had about Connor Williams, and basically I was like, hey, we can upgrade from Connor Williams. Not saying he's a bad player, but we can upgrade from him. And my biggest thing was the penalties. And Steve was like, hey, he has a high PFF grade. I trust him on an O versus D line. My argument there, I'm not even debating that. I think yes, but what kills me most about him is the penalties. Those kill drives, and we saw it so much today that it just like, I tried to refrain from sending a text after the first one because I'm like, hey, it's the first quarter. We got a lot of game left. And then, you're talking about he gets ran over by the D tackle. pulls them down, has a false start in a critical 3rd and short situation, and it's just like, all right, at that point, it's like I still stand by it. I wanted
Did
to
y'all
give him
have?
I still stand by it, but we had, and it wasn't just him. Lyle Collins had the same thing. And when you're talking about penalties, these things
Tyron had a couple penalties too.
Tyron did, yeah. I mean, he's a former All-Pro, like he's a great player. But these are all things that, to me, are fixable from a head coach, fixable from a top-down perspective. They're all between the ears. You don't have the ability. Hey, you know what? If Nick, who's this, Nick or Joey? Which one? Yeah,
that was Nick.
Nick.
Yeah. They said Joey on the broadcast tonight. They did say that on the TV broadcast. They got it wrong, by the way, when they reported his injury.
Right. Yeah. If Nick has a hell of a jump and you're still in your stance, yeah, tackle his ass. Sure.
Right.
But if he bull rushes you, no. Pass him off. Oh, man, there was one time where I think he looped in and you just see Connor Williams looking for someone to block.
Yeah.
Bosa runs right by him. It's just like, that's just a blown assignment. Like you see everyone's washed. He's looping around. That's you because you're looking for someone to block and you just don't pick him up. And it was in a critical position. It really, those things, because you know how much I love trench play. As a former running back, like I know that the game to me is won in the trenches, offensive, defensive line. If you're not playing there, you're not going to have success. Dak played a hell of a game, but our offensive line kind of let him down. And it wasn't just Connor. Up and down. I saw Biotis get thrown a couple of times too, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah. The whole there's clearly have an issue, right? But there's clearly an issue with our offensive line, not only because that starting unit today played together all of one other time going into tonight. So that was an issue there. First and foremost, it's just there was a lack of continuity, right? But also, and I agree with that comment, Steve Sexton. Not the biggest, but he's up there. Connor Williams, he's not the only problem. He's part of the problem. He's not the only problem. We can't run. We can't run the football. And Steven, you and I talked about it again in our most recent video, during the breakdown early in the week. This offense showed you Kellen Moore, Mike McCarthy, Doug Nussmeier. They all put the game plan together, and they tell you that they can't run block because we lead the league with at 6 offensive linemen in the formation in some regard. And tonight we saw 7. We saw Terrence Steele and Connor McGovern both lined up in the wishbone formation tonight. So it's like they're telling you, for whatever reason, we don't know. We're okay in pass pro, but we can't run the football, and that's the weakest part of your football team. And that was all year long from week 9 on until tonight. We can't run the football. Zeke had 35 yards tonight. So clearly we have to assess that. And that's going to be a giant looming, elephant just chilling in everybody's room, especially those within the front office. They're going to have to talk about a lot of stuff that's solving that problem. I mean, that we have, there's an obvious issue, an obvious hole. And tonight it was Connor Williams, it was Tyler Biotis, and it was just a lack of a run game altogether, man. And so one of those plays I will give Connor credit though. It's like, what? Yeah, he's getting beat on a Nick Bosa stunt, but we're 2nd and 23 and backed up in our own end. Like, yeah, that's when I think somebody on the broadcast mentioned it. It might have been Tony Romo. That's what happens when you're 2nd and 23. You get all kinds of crazy stunts and fronts, and defensive linemen are pinning their ears back. You're going to get beat because you're on your heels at that point. So you're already in a bad position to begin with. And that's
especially
an offensive
team like the 49ers.
Right.
I mean, they run that wide 9.
Problem. It's
Their
not just
defensive line is always coming from the pass rush perspective, and they allow their linebackers to be athletes,
especially on obvious passing downs. BA
right, exactly. So when it's
that
2nd
wide
and
9,
23,
they got into wide 9 on certain passing downs. I totally agree. I saw the same thing.
Playing right into what they want to do, and so it's just it. To me, it was almost a perfect storm with the matchup of what they want to do. They run the ball, control the clock. Shanahan offensively, very creative. I mean, very creative in the NFL for an NFL head coach to be calling the play, keeping time of possession, and on top of that, putting 7 points on the board when he got in the red zone. Like, that was tough for us to do. Yeah. But the fact that we were playing the drivers, the penalties played into what they wanted to do on defense, allowed them to go and just be comfortable. I mean, I don't think we ever really stressed him as far as our offense putting pressure on our defense. Even when their stars went out, that's what was befuddling to me. It's like once they went out, I'm like, all right, we should definitely make a nice comeback now. We should put ourselves in position to win. And it didn't happen. They were able to do the same thing they were doing all game. And I was stunned. I'm still stunned.
So I want to jump in. I want to jump into that point. 2 points I want to make as we go around here. And thank you guys for coming in for a little little late night group therapy session. As I came back from the game, like I said, me and Lando were out there, AT&T Texas Live. I still have my I don't know if y'all can see it, but my Texas Live cup that I commandeered. I'm still drinking through this. I'm be real with y'all because this shit hurts. Lando got the Crown Royal. Brandon's got the Red Solo cup. We out here, bro. Like we're trying to get through this collectively. Obviously, please, those of you who are watching, drink responsibly. And, bet responsibly. BUSR.com, our affiliate. All of the disclaimers that I need to say so we do not get demonetized. Please be responsible adults that are watching this stream. But let me get back to the 2 points.
Zeke did play with the PCL tear. I don't know if anybody in this chat hasn't seen or heard the news about
I
that.
did watch Zeke's presser before I got on. He did mention the PCL tear.
Yep. So that's interesting.
So Josh here, and Josh is on here pretty much every live we do. I appreciate Josh so much. But I want to make a couple quick points. And one of them is to Josh's comment, because we've been talking about our offensive line a little bit. We haven't really addressed Dak yet. But before we get to Dak and the quarterback and his performance and whatnot, Josh said, why on God's green earth is Cedric Wilson doubling up CD and targets? And this is my personal opinion, and this is me being at the game and seeing more of an all 22 look, if you will, of what's happening and things that are going on, because I need to watch the film again. And Lando, I'm gonna probably have to get together with you off camera and really go through this when the all 22 for this game comes out, and we really go through this and study it. CeeDee Lamb, we all are CeeDee Lamb fans here. The three of us that are here on camera, everybody watching us, everybody that's here in the chat, we're all CeeDee Lamb fans. This is no hate. This is a period where I'm offering constructive criticism. He has to get better as a football player, okay? And I mean that sincerely. We hold Dak to this incredible standard. And if you want to do that because of his salary, go ahead. All I know is before Dak was paid, and when Dak was making $600,000 a year, and when Dak was making $1 million a year, and when Dak was on the franchise tag and got up to some money, y'all still held him to this incredible standard.
31.4.
But all I hear is we have weapons. We have Amari Cooper. We have CeeDee Lamb. We have all these people.
Yep.
But when I'm watching CeeDee Lamb play, there are flaws. And some of them don't stick out as much as when something happens that you don't like a missed throw or a sack that gets taken or a decision that's made that you don't agree with and you think you want to put it on the quarterback. Go ahead. Put it on the quarterback. I'm here wearing a Dak Prescott jersey. Clearly, I'm a fan of his. So you want to say Steve is a homer? Go ahead.
Shoot me
but
too.
I'm not even speaking from that element. Because, again, I'm a CeeDee Lamb fan. I like what CeeDee Lamb has done. I wanted him when Lando and I are Texas fans. We wanted CeeDee Lamb way back when he was coming out of high school. We wanted him to come to Texas. I lost my voice because I'm rooting for this freaking team. I love this team. I've loved this team my whole life. Okay? But we got to be real and hold everybody to that. If we're going to put the quarterback at that standard, whether or not his salary is on the line, I'm watching CeeDee Lamb drop passes. I'm watching CeeDee Lamb not run the best routes or get separation.
consistently not being on the same page with Dak, whether that's on Dak or CD, that type of thing happened all year long too. So it's
that
just
was
like
an all year long thing,
a maturity
especially
thing
when Michael Gallup was injured
as a player. Yeah. Yep.
And or I'm sorry, when Gallup came back and they wanted to play Gallup and they moved CD to the slot,
kicked him back inside,
and they kicked CD inside. Cedric Wilson has always been more in tune with CD Lamb. Or I'm sorry, Cedric Wilson's always been more in tune with Dak Prescott than CD Lamb has been. So I see Freddie on here saying I'm a Dak homer. Or hold on. Let me see. Let me see here, because I see this comment here. And Freddie, I agree with your point about the offensive line. About if you've been paying attention to this team all year, you would know that this offensive line has had challenges. And you say, miss me with that, give us elite play. He doesn't. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna pass it off. I'm gonna make 2 points here. Dak Prescott, in under a year, 333 days to be exact, from his injury, came back and played for this football team against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a bone sticking out of his fucking leg.
Yep.
And he came back to this team and played for us.
Yep.
When we won 4 football games last year.
That's facts.
And those same weapons, Michael Gallup was healthy, Amari Cooper was healthy, CD Lamb was healthy, same tight ends were here.
Yep.
Offensive line was here. They won 4 football games. I think they were what, 2-3? I'm giving Dak credit for the Giants game because he started that game when he got hurt. So they were 2-3 when he got injured, Freddie.
Yeah.
Okay. So they won 2 more games the remainder of the season with these weapons you speak of, with this offensive line that is incredible. Okay. So if you want to put all the blame at Dak Prescott's feet, I am here to say Dak Prescott did not play his best playoff game I've seen him play. In my opinion, if I were to rank the 4 playoff games Dak has been in, this would be his 4th. Yeah. In my opinion, I thought he played better against the Rams. I thought he played better against Seattle. I thought he played better against Green Bay. That's just me being objective, Freddie. Okay. However, I saw Tom Brady today playing the Philadelphia Eagles on first down, hand the ball off on a draw to Giovanni Bernard, and the guy runs it into the end zone. It's perfectly blocked execution by his offensive line. Tristan Wirfs got injured today. Did he not?
Yes, he did. He's done. He's
done, right?
Oh yeah, they tried to come back and made it worse.
Yeah, they were still running the football.
And then their right guard, his name slips on mind. He left the game for a stretch too.
Jensen left as well.
Yeah, Jensen, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Dak Prescott today throws a ball. It's zone coverage, and it looks bad. And I don't know what the TV copy is. I don't know what Tony Romo said. Whatever. He throws a ball today, well behind Cedric Wilson. It's zone coverage. What are you supposed to do in zone? You sit down in the hole.
Yeah,
man, you carry across the field.
Yeah, if you notice on that play, Dak threw it to the spot to where it couldn't get intercepted, not to where Cedric Wilson was headed. Did y'all catch that on the replay? Probably not.
Yeah,
I saw it real time because I'm looking at the coverage and I'm like that's where, dude. I'm not an NFL quarterback. I didn't play. The amount of football I've played, that's where I would have thrown the football. While I was looking at it, because I was facing the same way he was when he threw that football, where he threw it, I'm like, the receiver's supposed to sit down right there.
Yep.
When I watched the Cincinnati Bengals play, and I watched Jamar Chase, and I watched T. Higgins, and Landon, I know you're getting tired of me saying this, but I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. Cowboys fans, we are overrating our personnel to a certain degree. Yeah. When you watch some of these teams out here, Jamar Chase is different. T. Higgins, if you make a bad throw, it doesn't matter. He's snagging it.
Yeah. It's his.
It's his. Tyler Boyd is what you're getting with Cedric Wilson in the slot in terms of IQ, but he's a better player. So you guys can say, I see people saying, hey, it's a horrible throw.
Yeah.
These are people that don't understand the differences between zone concepts and man concepts. I'm throwing the ball for you to sit down.
Yeah.
Okay? Again, I'm going to pass it off because I'm talking too much and I know that, and I'm drinking, whatever. I'm going to pass it off. Lando, BA, go in. But
I just wanted to ask the question, how many quarterbacks in playoff history have won a game with 45 or less rushing yards and also 14 plus penalties?
Zero.
I would be curious to know. I mean, there's some statisticians out there that are better at this than I am, so that's just an honest question. So, I mean, when I watch this football team, I don't know how anyone can honestly assess Dak as the main problem when we see all the deficiencies elsewhere. 14 penalties. That's a team-wide thing. It's a team-wide thing. 14 penalties. That's a lack of discipline. You don't deserve to win a playoff game that way. I'm sorry, you just don't. And it's not on your quarterback. He didn't play well. It wasn't his best game. But he didn't have any help either. Nobody. I saw Neville Gallimore had a huge, hand to the face penalty. We saw 3 Connor Williams mistakes. We saw Lyle Collins make a mistake. We saw CeeDee Lamb not only drop a ball, but not get lined up in time and had a big play negated. Yeah. He's jogging to his spot on the outside. I know I'm forgetting other stuff. Cedric Wilson on the perfect play. They were behind the chains early on in the game. Kellen Moore drew up a masterful play. It was that little, they hit him across the middle and I don't even know what you call it. It's like the lateral without the hook. You know what I mean? But
it was almost like a modified hitch pitch.
Completely sailed it. So, again, these are gadget plays that are 1 in 100. But still, I'm just saying, it was a collective effort to shoot yourself in the foot today. So, to pin it on anybody. If you want to pin it on Dak, I'll tell you you're wrong. You want to pin it on Mike McCarthy, I would tell you you're wrong. You want to pin it on Kellen Moore, I'll tell you you're wrong. You want to pin it on Jerry Jones, I would tell you you're wrong. It was an organizational blunder today. We shot ourselves in the foot, and it was a collective effort of mistakes all the way around. It was just sloppy. So
it's funny you mentioned organizational. I had a buddy reach out to me in text, and he's like, you know what? I'm done being a fan until something happens to Jerry because it starts with him, in his opinion. So it was funny to hear you say organizational. But you're absolutely right in the fact that this was a team loss. Steve sent the text after that Cedric Wilson play early in the game. We were behind the sticks. I mean, from being able to watch it on TV and not being at the game, the concept was there. The idea was there. If he makes that throw, I mean, Pollard has a legit chance to get a first down. Very brilliant, play call in my opinion, but it wasn't executed. I mean, you look at the 14 penalty. That's a lot of mental execution. There was so little execution, simple things of just executing your game plan that went into this loss. And that really is what frustrated me the most. You have position coaches. I mean, we had, I think, 2 or 3 defensive holding penalties in the one game. I didn't even know they still called that.
On a run
play. We said that same thing. Me and all my boys at Texas Live, we're like, what? I've never seen that call before.
Seriously. But then they showed a replay, and we're suplexing guys. We're grabbing offensive linemen and suplexing them. It's a right call.
Yeah.
But why are we doing that? I mean, you can see that, there's a frustration from the defensive line getting leaned on. And they're like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to grab you. Mm-hmm. They're not sticking to their gaps. They're not sticking to their responsibilities. They're not, doing their job, so to speak. So this was definitely a team loss, organizational, however may it be. Now, Dak, to me, he played well enough to win this game, especially bringing us back at the end. He played well enough to win this game. But 14 penalties, the mental errors, the drops, like all of that is a huge factor. I mean, even without the – go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. You were on roll right there. I have so many things rolling through my mind. I wanted to ask the question. What did you guys think that it was obvious that the physical versus finesse kind of got into their heads this week? Like, it was not only was it addressed in every press conference by all the players that I read. All you got to do is go to DallasCowboysYouTube.com or whatever on YouTube and go find all the player interviews. You'll hear them all address it. Mike McCarthy even addressed it, but I like that. I was like, okay, cool. A 12-win team is going to be pissed off by the national media painting the narrative that they're not physical. They're going to go prove that. Like, I thought that was bulletin board material, and we would see a different, like a hair on fire. which we didn't. We came out flat. But the false starts, not only defensively but offensively, the neutral zone infractions, the false starts. It's like we're just over antsy. Like Mike McCarthy was drilling it in their minds all week long. Hey, this is what they're saying. We ain't going to let them out physical us. Y'all got to, beat them to the attack, beat them to the punch. And maybe that contributed. I don't know. It just looked like Randy Gregory. That was the first thing that popped into my head. It was just like oversight to the point to where you were off your game because you were trying to prove, or disprove the lack of physicality to a fault. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just the stuff that I question now in hindsight. So interesting stuff, man.
So Forrest, you've been here with me for a long time, brother. You're also a Longhorn fan, and we talk a lot. Freddie as well, too, right? We're just talking ball right now. So nothing personal. We can agree to disagree and whatnot. And I don't want to spend all my time here just talking about the quarterback, right? But Forrest says elite QBs can make up for mistakes that are made and win games for you. I agree with that to a certain extent, right? In terms of the margin, both team sport. Quarterbacks don't play defense; they don't play special teams. Okay.
Ask Nick Foles and Joe Flacco and even Jimmy Garoppolo, who have all played in Super Bowls recently.
And that's the second part of where I'm going, Lando, because the first part of that is very simple in terms of. Hold on, let me close this out real quick because I want to make this point in terms of what Forrest is saying because it is important, him and Freddie, because we're having a conversation here. We're all rationalizing this as fans.
Yep.
We're all Cowboys fans, right? So in terms of Forrest's point, and I see he made it here later in the chat in terms of Tom Brady's teams, blah blah blah, Aaron Rodgers' teams. Blah, 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 blah. They used to say the same stuff about this, and this predates me a little bit, but I'm a football historian. Shout out to John Madden and John Facenda and all NFL Films and all that. They used to say the same stuff about people like Dan Marino, why they didn't win. And at the end of the day, it's still a team sport. Dak Prescott, when he took his first snap today, was down 7-0. That's facts. Okay. Facts. We won the kickoff. We deferred. This defense that I've appreciated all year long, featuring Micah Parsons, Tank Lawrence, Randy Gregory, Trayvon Diggs, Jaron Kearse. Not only do they give up 7, it's not a fluke 7. BA, we talked about this. Kyle Shanahan's opening script, he got everything he wanted to get. We saw toss sweep executed. We saw play action, deep crosser.
Dude, that
Travis sequence,
Benjamin. That sequence was disgusting. Their opening drive.
Their opening drive.
My God, it was poetry.
5 plays in a row.
Poetry.
10 yards or more each play.
That you want to talk about getting out coached? Right. Boom. There you have it. Don't talk about clock management. Talk about that right there. Don't talk about clock management. Talk about that. Talk about that opening drive. And then what did we do? Doug Nussmeier, Dak Prescott, Kellen Moore, Mike McCarthy. They all agree on this game plan. All week long. They're like, all right, we're going to play action boot rolled out right here. We're going to hit Dalton Schultz, and we're going to gain 12 yards on his first play, and then bam, it's going to be gravy. What did Dak do? He throws it away on 1st and 10 to start the game. And then what happens after that, Steve? What did I say that I don't want to ever see again? A 2nd and 1.
We ran the ball on 2nd and 10. We ran the ball on 2nd and long.
Between the tackles with Ezekiel Elliott. We talked about this. And then what happens? 2nd and 3rd or 1st and 10, incompletion. So it's 2nd and 10. Loss of 3 on the run with Zeke. 3rd and 13 off the jump. Just boom. The tone is set right there. You're behind the sticks and you're off schedule.
You play right into San Francisco's hand in that scenario.
That was the entire day.
And I see here,
I
see here the comment. Victor Santiago says Dan Marino was miles better than Dak. Dan Marino, to me, is in my top 5 most talented quarterbacks I've ever seen throw the football. Dan Marino was an
Are you
elite
kidding me? No
talent,
shit.
generational
Dan
talent.
Marino was throwing for 5,000 yards during a time where the NFL didn't have passers over 2,000.
Where you could
Like,
freaking assault people at the line of scrimmage. Okay.
right.
That's not my point, Victor. Please understand. Because some of y'all want to be right instead of trying to diagnose what the problem is. Okay. Let's be real. Some of y'all want to be right instead of diagnosing what the problem is. And you don't like 4.
Wait.
But I didn't see y'all last year when we won 4 games when he got hurt. And he wasn't here. But I kept getting told before he missed a game that anybody could run this offense. Anybody could play in this behind this offensive line. Anybody could throw to these receivers. That's all I got told.
Shit, not Andy Dalton.
No.
Andy Dalton, who's in a comp, I'm not saying Andy Dalton's the end all be all. He went to Chicago, got his 10 mil. Shout out to him. I'm not
He's
saying
been to the
that's
playoffs
whatever.
before. He can ball a little bit, but he couldn't run the offense last year when
but-
Dak went down.
So can we pivot off of Dan Marino? Like, I don't even know what the discussion is there. Like, I mean,
Landon, let me. I'm gonna give the mic back to you. Give me 1 minute
go
to
for
make
it.
this point.
I'm sorry, man.
No, you good. Give me 1 minute to make this point. And if you're in here in the chat, I see 169 in here. Hit the like button. All right, because we're trying to work through this shit right now. Okay, as fans, and it's gonna take us some time to get over this. We are no longer going to get the benefit of the doubt in the national media moving forward until we win a lot of stuff, until we go on a real playoff run. There will be no benefit of the doubt. No matter how good we are in the regular season, no matter who we beat or who we lose to, it doesn't matter moving forward. That's facts, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No one's going to give you credit for anything. It's always going to come down to, did you win in the playoffs or did you not? But to Forrest's point about elite quarterbacks, so we're getting off topic, elite quarterbacks cleaning up the gap. Dan Marino lost playoff games. This is my point. Dan Marino lost playoff games to lesser quarterbacks throughout his career because of his organization, because his team, all different factors. Jimmy Garoppolo, because you guys are overrating weapons, Jimmy Garoppolo gets credit for a playoff win. I had somebody hit me in the comments on a preview video I did with my boy Jimmy. Jimmy went to the game with me. Jimmy's on his way back to Austin. Safe travels. It hurt today. Me and him were at the game. Thank you, Jimmy, for inviting me to the game. I appreciate you, brother. I love you.
Yeah.
I had a
Nice to
fan
meet you too,
comment
Jimmy,
on
by
the
the way.
video I did with Jimmy saying if Dak loses to Jimmy Garoppolo, he's trash. However, Jimmy Garoppolo, if we're going by those type of metrics, defeated Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago. Did he not?
Yeah.
If we're just going off win-loss. Jimmy
Yeah.
Garoppolo did not have a touchdown today.
No.
Jimmy Garoppolo had a horrible interception
Yeah.
That almost cost him the game.
that almost cost them the game.
Yeah.
I felt like that
Jimmy
was a turning point.
Garoppolo didn't throw for 200 yards.
Yeah.
What did Jimmy Garoppolo do exactly other than make a few throws? Because he's playing in a way better scheme than our opposing quarterback.
Didn't he have 8 completions in the Super Bowl?
Let's go to Jimmy Garoppolo's.
Yeah, I would have to Google that. I have no clue.
I wanted to say it was something crazy like that, but maybe I'm just dreaming.
But you even look at today's game. How many throws did he have over 20 yards in today's game?
Like air
Jimmy
yards,
today-
probably like 2, maybe. 1 to Brandon Ayuk for sure.
BA Jimmy today was 16 of 25 for 172 and a pick.
Yeah.
That was
Considering
Jimmy
that 20
Garoppolo
yard completion.
I said that if he threw the ball more than 22 times, that the Cowboys would win. That's crazy. But yeah, that just goes to show you how like they don't really want him throwing the ball that much, and that's
No,
why.
but they
want
ran
him
for
to manage the
170
game.
yards.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's bad.
They want him to manage the game. They want him not to lose the game for him, which he almost did with the pick. But that's Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, we do ask Dak to go out there. Hey, you need to win us a game sometime. And I go back to the Philly game in last week, and apology, Tran. I know he messed up your parlay, but I'm glad to see them in there working on things, trying to build up some momentum. And it feels like we carried zero momentum into this game from that. So I'm thinking, what the hell was that for?
Steve and I gave credit to Mike McCarthy.
Hey,
for that
General Tex, deuces, bro. Hey, real talk, deuces, bro. Thank you for coming through. Deuces, okay? Because if the first person we're going to blame is the person, in my opinion, that had the best game offensively, Dak Prescott had a better game than Connor Williams, had a better game than Lael Collins, had a better game than Tyron Smith, had a better game than Zeke Elliott, had a better game than CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard.
Name whoever you want to name on offense. Tony Pollard doesn't count because the coaches act like he don't exist.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Him and Dalton Schultz.
So I don't agree with how they're using him. But if you want to say he's a fat patter, if you want to say, bro, I'm drunk or whatever, fine. Go off, bro. I'm upset. Yeah. I'm a passionate fan. Yeah, I've been drinking. I've been turned all day. But General Tex, I'm gonna tell you this, okay? Before I hand it back, we need to get rid of this. Whatever. How do you get rid of somebody that goes through what he's gone through and done what he's done as the leader of this football team? He comes back and we win all these games, whether you like the stat padding or not, and that's the first person you blame? I didn't know Dak Prescott played defense and gave up 170 yards rushing. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Dak Prescott decided as a staff that Micah Parsons was going to line up on left end, and we weren't gonna adjust and move him back to the middle to adjust for the Deebo Samuel stuff. Can we talk about defense? Because I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lando.
Also, special teams too. I mean, there's also a huge penalty that negated a 40-yard Tony Pollard kickoff return. So
yeah, but we also had the fake punt. So special teams is kind of a wash, in my opinion.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true that. But just for field position purposes, like the fake punt came because we were out of desperation. Like if we execute on special teams in the first place, and we don't have all these calls negating big gains. I think there were 3 30-plus yard gains negated by a holding or some sort of block in the back for us in the first half. Like, all comes back to execution. But what's the question from Josh? I didn't even see that. Can you run that back one more time, Steve?
What was that, Lando?
From Josh Turner. I saw a question and I didn't get to read it.
Let me go back.
You said, why didn't they run outside the tackles more?
Man, hey, he's talking my language again. That's another thing that we talked about. I thought Dak would run the football more tonight. We didn't see that. The outside zone, the outside, the stretch run philosophies that we saw from weeks 1 through 8. We saw, I think it was week 9 when Cooper Rush helped this team beat the Minnesota Vikings on the road. Something changed when Dak was an MVP candidate prior to his calf injury. Comes back, this offense was never the same from that point on. And I know there was 5-game suspension for an offensive lineman. I know there was 4 games missed from Tyron Smith. I know there was all kinds of stuff. The shuffling was endless. But I don't have an answer to that question for you, Josh. And that's what pains me the most to say is that's what I started this video off with too. My question to the coaching staff is, why can't we run the ball? Why do we lead the NFL in snaps, offensive snaps with 6 or more offensive linemen on the field? You shouldn't have to do that. It just really shouldn't come down to that. So great question.
We opened the game today. I don't know if anybody noticed this. Okay. I know y'all talking about I'm drunk or whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong. We opened the game in 12 personnel. Jeremy Sprinkle was out there.
Where was Blake Jarwin?
Couldn't run the football. So again, You want to blame the quarterback? Blame the quarter. I'm not going to keep going into this back and forth about this. Okay.
Yeah, we gotta wrap that.
But to Landon's point about running the football, that's something we could line up back 2014 when we had DeMarco Murray, back 2016 when we had rookie Zeke Elliott. 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts, confidently pick up stuff, right? Ezekiel Elliott today, 12 carries, 31 yards, 2.6 yards per carry. And whether and he 2.6 yards per carry for Ezekiel Elliott today. Okay.
What quarterback wins in the playoffs with that? Tell me.
Meanwhile, I'm seeing now look, I want to also make something clear, okay? Because people talking about I'm a Dak homer or whatever. I said he missed throws today. I said he's not perfect.
Hell yeah, he was.
Dak Prescott.
He was off today.
Is for General Texas point, Dak Prescott's good enough to win a Super Bowl. I've seen way worse quarterbacks win a Super Bowl. I've seen Brad Johnson win a Super Bowl. Okay. I've seen Joe Flacco,
Nick Foles,
people win Super Bowls. Okay. So this isn't,
yeah.
I'm talking about the way our team is constructed. I'm not talking about salary. Because you guys are talking about salary and you're not accounting for the cap going up and other certain outliers that are factoring in terms of dumps and all sorts of things, okay? So let's be mindful of what we're talking about, especially when we're talking about culture, all right? I understand the money right now. Yes, it is tied up offensively, but it's not just tied up with the quarterback. The quarterback right now this season, I believe, is responsible for 11 to 12% of the cap. That means Amari Cooper, who got paid, Ezekiel Elliott, who was paid, Zach Martin, who was paid, Tyron Smith, who was paid. Multiple people were paid on this offense. It is not just the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They did not perform up to their expectation. And if multiple people on one side of the ball aren't performing, who does that fall on? At what point do we start looking at, because what we haven't talked about on here is some bullshit that comes up saying, well, if Mike McCarthy loses this game, then should we have Kellen Moore take over? How does that not sound like 2007, guys? With Jason Garrett and Wade Phillips. Are we doing the same thing? Whether or not you like Dak or not, I don't even care anymore. But bigger picture, you guys are talking about, oh, we should get rid of Mike McCarthy and then replace him with Kellen Moore. But Kellen Moore's offense in big games or against playoff team, like this report comes out to the point my wife, who only pays attention to this stuff because she loves me, but she doesn't care.
Amen.
She's on Facebook Marketplace. I love Bree. Everybody loves Bree. She's awesome. Bree's on Facebook Marketplace trying to get furniture for the new crib. She doesn't give a shit about what's going on with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Bree comes to me yesterday and says, hey, babe, I heard if Mike McCarthy gets fired, Kellen Moore's going to be the head coach. Is that true?
My wife asked me that too twice today, yo. I swear.
Bro.
I swear. And she's tuned in. She knows. She listens to all my bull crap that I listen to too.
Bro, that's where we're at. Y'all asking me about Kellen Moore being the head coach. Did you see Kyle Shanahan's offense with his personnel? Debo's a dog. We know that. BA, we know Debo's
we made him look like a Pro Bowler.
Right.
We made him look the Pro Bowler he is.
We did. But we also know, and BA, you know where I'm going with this. Kyle understands angles better than any other play caller in this damn league. Dude. And he understands leverage when he comes off that play action from his outside zone. I'm running that crosser behind. There's no way you're going to keep up with that shit.
Nope.
And
if you do by chance, guess what? I have a release route underneath that's going to pick up 10.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many levels built in. It's insane. It's
there's levels built into his offense.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about Matt Ryan this, Matt Ryan that. He made Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan was an MVP. Yeah.
Matt Shaw.
Hey, don't forget what he did with RG3.
4,900 yards, BA? 4,900 yards? Rex
Right.
Grossman threw for damn near 4,000 yards. Do you
Look.
understand who you're going up against?
Mhm.
Dallas. And we let that man do what he does. Now it's 23 points, and people are going to say, hey, we only gave up 23 points. It's context of the football game to me. Go ahead.
I would say this. We only gave up 7 in the second half. So we made adjustments. And
Shout out to Dan Quinn.
Well, I was about to say, which bodes well for Dan Quinn. Absolutely.
Love to see some adjustments in the second half.
Yep.
Love to see it. That was something that Elko did a lot of. So seeing Quinn, something very good. Hey, that gives you a shot in a playoff game like this. But to me, there's no adjustments that we made on offense. To your point,
for 8 weeks.
Seriously. And I did last week. I'm like, hey, we're building some momentum. We're starting to click here. We can get the run game. Dak's looking good. Like, I feel like this is building momentum. Then we come out, and it's just like, what kind of script? This is the game plan that you decided was going to win against this team?
Yeah.
This is the best you can come up with? Where's the physicality? We're paying Zeke $9 million this year, and he only had 12 touches, where Elijah Mitchell, gosh, is he being paid $500,000? I have no idea. But he damn near got 30 touches.
He's a 6th-round draft pick.
6th-round draft pick.
Yeah. So he's on that league minimum.
It's I don't know.
And he's going for over 100 yards in a playoff game.
Finished like 2 bottles, so.
Yeah. Honestly, back to, I think it was Steve Sexton that posted the thing about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room might actually be Kellen in his head coaching interview meetings. He might be the elephant, if we're being honest, just because there's been one problem all year long, and it's been our inability to run the football effectively in the second half of the season. There was never an adjustment. And featuring our playmakers on the outside inconsistently, like there was never an adjustment.
It's going to add to that consistency, something that we haven't seen, but you hit right on it.
I don't know, man. It's tough. I love Trevor's comment though. That's funny.
No, we did, and we actually to Trevor's point. Shout out to Texas Platinum and everybody over there. I love T Stiff. Love you, brother.
You know what?
Thank you for being in here with us.
You see the Aggie up there behind me. I'm glad you didn't get Shanahan, because I wouldn't want to see him in the SEC or any college level.
He's the real deal, man. Yeah.
He
also vouched for Steve Sarkisian, by the way, too. But we won't get into that. That's a different topic. But yeah. Him and Pete Carroll both.
Look at his offense. Does that not look like a NFL version of a Sarkisian offense? I wouldn't disagree with that. Look at how he gets his playmaker space with the ball. Look what he did. Look at how many times Debo lined up in the backfield, in the slot, out wide. He was all over the place. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that. But, I'm not going to get on Texas. I hope your defense doesn't really improve from what it did this year. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Also, to Josh's point, I agree. I said that on my video today. I posted on Mike's channel when I got home, is that this team, to Mike McCarthy's credit, exceeded expectations from the preseason. We exceeded it. From the regular season, we underachieved, right? I think that's also fair to say. So, yes, I mean, we do have to try to put some perspective. As bad as today hurts and as frustrated as we all are, knowing how talented this team is, we were 12-5. We hosted a wild card playoff game, So, yeah, but we saw more. We wanted more, man. It was right there, and for whatever reason, we couldn't get over that hump. And so,
right, especially with a defense as opportunistic as we've had. We've never had a defense that causes many turnovers. At least we're not recently. So anytime you can get a defense that gives your offense more opportunities, usually that transforms into success.
Absolutely,
we just didn't see it today.
Yeah,
we were only able to generate one turnover. I'm not going to blow up. I hear people blowing up the pass rush, saying, why didn't we have more sacks on Jimmy Garoppolo? We actually did not technically sack him today. In my opinion, that's Kyle Shanahan. He's able to scheme his way out of things. When he sees Michael Parsons in certain situations, he can scheme his way out of it. That is a coaching advantage, okay? A schematic advantage, even over Dan Quinn. And I talked about this a lot this week in terms of Dan Quinn tactically versus Kyle Shanahan. And there was a back and forth. To Brandon's point, Dan Quinn adjusted quite well in the second half. 7 points as a defensive coordinator is all you can ask for, plus a turnover with that 7 points that y'all gave up. So, and they got the ball back for the offense. It's not like, 2014 and 2016 where people walk off against us or run the clock out. So that wasn't the case here today, because I know we're going to get to the decisions that were made on the last drive where we didn't have timeouts, and I do want to get into that. But overall, Mike McCarthy, let's be real here, okay? Because if we want to get into, let's do the same thing we've done before and fire the coach and bring in the upstart OC and all this type of stuff, I don't know what Kellen Moore's imprint is on the locker room. I know he's been with the team for a long time, including as a player and in his relationship with Dak. And I know that means something. I know that he is a very smart, young, up-and-coming coach. I do agree with that. He has flaws, okay? He's not on Kyle Shanahan's level. He's not on Mike LaFleur's level, in my opinion, or Sean McVay's level. He's not. We don't see that. I don't see – Jimmy Garoppolo had a throw. Do you know how many throws Jimmy missed today where the game really could have been a blowout?
Yeah.
He had Brandon Ayuk open for like a touch, like maybe not a touchdown, maybe I'm exaggerating, but it would have been like a 40, 50-yard play where he just threw it out of bounds. Right. Where he gets the guy wide open. Even the guy, Joe Burrow, right, in Cincinnati, who's working with Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor came from that same type of offense, same type of scheme. What Cincinnati schemes up is far more complex.
Yep. Talk that talk, Steve.
It's far more complex than what you see the Dallas Cowboys running. Here's how I know you're not complex. Tony Pollard.
Tell you too.
Tony Pollard. Landon said it at the beginning. Said it an hour ago. We're at hour 7. Hit the like button if you love us. Tony Pollard had 4 carries today.
Yeah.
That's low football IQ as a staff across the board. Somebody made a comment, I forgot who it was, said Mike McCarthy didn't learn anything from Pro Football Focus. Just because, now I will say this, just because Mike McCarthy screwed up today doesn't mean it's a fireable offense. Mike McCarthy is not to blame, because what you guys are doing is you're putting 25 years of shit on the coach.
Yeah,
you're putting 25 years of frustration on the quarterback and on whoever.
Great point.
But they've only the longest tenured people here now really is Kellen, Dak, Zeke, Zach Martin, Tyron.
Yeah.
Micah just got here. Trayvon just got here. Mike McCarthy just got here. Dan Quinn just got here. They're not responsible for all of the past Cowboys failures. Dan Quinn has gotten to a Super Bowl. He knows how to win playoff games. Don't put all that shit on him. Don't put all that shit on everybody else. The person calling the game today was who? Tony Romo? Tony Romo's talking about decisions that should have been made. Blink, blink.
Yeah, he mentioned the timing a lot.
Was he not involved in multiple controversial scenarios that could have determined the outcome of games? This isn't on any one person, is my point. The Cowboys have to stay the course and overcome this, in my opinion, because they're drafting well.
Very well. Very, very well.
They're going to continue drafting well.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, the reason why people are saying the Cowboys have people are saying the GM is I had people text me and say, oh, you guys need to get a GM. I'm like, I text back, I'm like, bruh, the only reason why we in this game is because the GM accumulate. The reason why you had expectations is because the GM built this team. Who else in the league got 4,000-yard passer, 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver, 10-sack guy, 10 10 pick
plus
guy.
pick guy. Yeah. It's actually
putting that up.
Nobody, because I don't think it's ever happened before.
That's the first time in NFL history that's happened, and they were all drafted.
Yeah, and developed by this friend.
Do we not understand the draft that Dak Prescott was in? There was somebody picked number 1 overall as the quarterback who's since been traded. Somebody else that was picked number 2 overall.
Who's that guy?
Has since been traded.
What's his name?
Carson Wentz, Jared Goff. Where are those guys today?
Not with their original teams.
Where are those guys?
Yeah.
We talk about Tony Romo. This is the same conversations we were having with Tony Romo 10 years ago. I've been here. Okay. I've been here. Tony Romo was good enough to win the 2014 playoff game against Green Bay. He played his ass off. He didn't fumble the ball. DeMarco fumbled the ball. Yeah. We always want to blame somebody, but it's across the board. People talking about inflated stats by the NFC East or whatever. You want to say, okay, NFC East. They were mid-tier in the NFL this year in terms of a division. That's not true. It's flat out not true. There's divisions that only had one playoff team. As far as I'm concerned, the NFC East, now I know they've been eliminated today, but they had 2 playoff teams.
Yeah.
Both.
Hey, also, I'm just going to make a mental note of this, and I probably should write it down because I'll forget because there's so much on my mind right now. But you made a great point earlier, Steve, that I think is important to consider. The Cowboys kind of being in this like recycle or this cycle that, the coaching carousel, the way that it kind of happened in 2007 when it all shook out, and what we might be up against yet again here in 2022. That's worth noting. I hope that I don't know if Mike McCarthy is the long-term play here. I don't know if Jerry knows that. But what I do know is that please, I'll let you have it, man. Go for it.
I was just gonna say I never thought he was. But I was curious about, I saw McCarthy as a short-term solution that may be able to get us over that hump that we can't seem to get over. And so far, not proven to do that. But Steve mentioned, hey, let's stay the course. And I'm curious, what is the course? Because I'm not making any excuses. San Francisco came in our house, beat us, ran up and down the field, beat us. What excuse is there to make? We did not play well enough to win this game.
Better football team today. Better football team today, BA. They were up 23-7 at one point. Better football team today.
For sure.
Go ahead.
I mean, there's no excuse to make, but what is the course that we take? I mean, that's where I'm a little vexed because I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, this team with the opportunistic defense and an offense that at times showed a very high potency to score points. What do we need? What path do we continue to go down to get us over that hump? That's what I want to know. That's my question to each of you because I'm unsure.
Freddie, Lando will come back. Freddie, what BA just said, you said this is excuse central. And I know you're talking about me, and that's fine. We can agree to disagree. This is, respectful discourse, right? But Freddie, I want you to chime in the comments, all right? Because I value your opinion, Freddie. There's a lot of stuff you say, and Freddie, we've also talked back and forth regarding the Texas Longhorns. So I respect your football opinion. I really do. And I don't spend my time responding to everybody that don't talk football. BA and Landon know this very well. I don't. I don't.
Barely get
if you don't know ball, I won't even waste my time responding to you. Freddie, I respect your opinion. I see your comment here saying we making excuses. What's the solution? Fire everybody? You want to trade the quarterback? Trade the quarterback for who? How you trading them? You blowing this thing up? You ready to be bad again? I remember when we were bad. I remember Chad Hutchinson and Drew Henson and Clint Stoner and Anthony Wright and Ryan Leaf and Vinny Testaverde and a 47-year-old Randall Cunningham. I remember when we were bad.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your solution? If you're ready to say, hey, I don't like the product, this product sucks, I'm ready to blow it up, trade Zeke, trade Dak, fire Mike, what is your solution? That's what because I'm not here. I'm telling y'all, the 49ers people that are here, I see somebody say, gave me a super chat. I appreciate the super chat. I'll take your bread. I don't care if you're making fun of me or not. 49er people that are here, I shook every single 49 person saying that was amicable coming out of that stadium. Better team, better coach, better day. But what's the solution?
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know. I mean, you gave me a little PTSD, reminding me of all the rebuilding scenarios we just went through there. So I'm not ready to go through that again. I have no idea what the solution is. I mean, I can't remember who made the comment that this team isn't built to win. I think this team can win for sure. It's not. Go ahead.
I think you have very obvious problems within your offensive line. I think that would be where I would start this offseason, as well as obviously the running back position. We know our running back was playing with a torn PCL, but that's either here nor there. The problem with your running game is not the guy behind the line of scrimmage. It's the 5 men up front. For whatever reason, this team couldn't run block. So that would be number one for me.
With two good running backs, in my opinion. I mean, we have a running back that you just mentioned with a torn PCL, who him at 80% is still greater than probably, he's still probably in the top quarter of the league with a torn PCL. Not to mention the guy behind him is more than capable of having an influence on the game.
Yep.
And, if we're giving him the touches, which we did not in his game, but to your point, behind, we started off in a hole, 23-7, or was it 23-7?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. 23-7.
Yeah.
Kind of takes him out of it. Then we have to rely on an offensive line who's suspect at best right now to pass block against 4-man rush with stunts. They did not seem up to that.
Couldn't do it. Yeah.
And this is supposed to be our best offensive line lineup, which you mentioned earlier in this live, only the second time that they've lined up like this all season.
Twice.
And this is supposed to be our best lineup.
Yep.
I mean,
it certainly wasn't.
Come on now. I mean,
Trevor knows. Trevor knows.
Nick Bosa goes out, and we still have pass. Look, I watched Jimmy G throw from a clean pocket for most of this game today. For the most part, there were times, and when he had a dirty pocket, he made mistakes. He either or they had to punt, or in one case, he threw an interception when he had a dirty pocket. I watched our guy, Dak Prescott, work from a dirty pocket
all night.
It's a completely different scenario. Now, I want to get back to what Freddie's saying. I'm asking Freddie, because Freddie's not answering my question.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie said, when did I say trade the QB? I'm addressing the whole comments here, brother. I'm not just saying, I never said that you said trade the QB. What I'm asking you is, what is the solution? So you say, hey, keep Dak on board. Or because if you're not saying trade him, you're saying keep him on board, but he's not elite.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. He's not elite in terms of, is he the guy I saw in Buffalo last night, who people are calling the Winter Soldier? If you watch Marvel films, no, Josh Allen different. Josh Allen looked like John Elway last night.
Winter Soldier.
Josh Allen's the Winter Soldier. Okay, that guy's from a different planet.
Sam Darnold over him.
That's good. I like that.
Winter Soldier is
right?
nice.
When we're talking about people like Josh Allen, okay, but let's look a little bit further with Josh Allen, because Buffalo Bills carved up the New England Patriots, who Dak Prescott carved up, by the way, but they carved up the New England Patriots after playing them 3 times and had a perfect game, like no punts, no turnovers, straight touchdowns. The thing that Buffalo figured out for Josh Allen was they had to figure out how to run the football. And the last month of the season, Josh Allen's been able to hand the football off to Devin Singletary. People that play fantasy football know what I'm talking about. Just that little difference has made a world of difference for Josh Allen's game. I'm not saying Dak Prescott is Josh Allen. There's nobody in the league that I see, honestly. Josh Allen can do stuff that I've never seen a human being playing quarterback in the NFL can do. He's just now realizing his powers. Dak Prescott's never going to have those abilities. I'm not saying he's an elite quarterback. What I'm saying is Dak Prescott is a great leader, and he is more than good enough to win with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do agree that they paid him a year late, by the way, with the walking bucket. That's facts. You could argue they paid him 2 years too late, but that's another topic as well.
But am I saying I don't think Dak is as talented talent, because you're actually producing is two different things. Okay. Talent is like what you can physically do to me. Like what are you capable of? Josh Allen is capable of things that Dak Prescott cannot do. Josh Allen is capable of things, in my opinion, that nobody in the NFL can do, including whether it's Lamar, Patrick Mahomes. The only person I would maybe throw in there is Herbert, but Herbert can't run like Josh can run.
No.
And shake people off.
I
watched Josh Allen.
Not physically, no. Speed-wise,
I watched Josh Allen drop off Christian Barmore, who was an all-world defensive tackle at Alabama last year at the barbershop last night. Christian Barmore had him dead to rights. So Josh Allen's in a whole nother league.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, elite. We agree on that. Aaron Rodgers is elite. All right. Tom Brady's the GOAT. After that group, it's a lot of people.
It's a lot of
okay.
A lot of fuzz, a lot of gray area, a lot of
gray area,
a lot of static.
People saying Burrow. Burrow is dope. I'm a huge Joe Burrow fan. Joe Burrow, when he's right, nobody's better than adult Kevin McAllister from Home Alone and Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. Kevin McAllister, aka Joe Burrow.
That meme was crazy.
He's elite as well but to me, Joe Burrow has two advantages. He has even better weapons, and he plays in a better scheme. Period.
Better scheme.
He plays in a better scheme.
Yep.
Because I see him throwing to people wide the hell open.
Yep.
I don't ever see Dak throwing to people just hey, I'm over here. Dude. And when we get people wide open, like we got with CeeDee Lamb, we hold.
Yeah.
Or we commit a penalty.
Yeah.
We don't get set at the line.
Just to be clear, I've seen plenty of comments about the head coach and his tendencies kind of like carrying over to the rest of the team, like as far as their mentality is concerned. I actually agree with that to a certain extent. Like your team over time does embody who your head coach is behind closed doors. And I've seen people mention the excuses like with the referees and stuff. I don't know if that's Mike McCarthy just preaching to his players and like providing excuses for them. I just think he's a blatantly honest guy, and I think that the team respects him for that honesty. But I also saw another comment that I wanted to agree with as well. I said this in a video that I dropped tonight prior to hopping on here with you guys. I wouldn't hate it if Dan Quinn was the head coach of this football team next year because of the mentality and what he brings just like as a leader of men. But I just wanted to address that. So
I see something else here in the chat. Joe Burrow, I would take Joe Burrow over Dak. Joe Burrow was the number one pick as well. Joe Burrow had elite tools.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert. I think we're comparing Dak Prescott to.
Right.
These people are number one overall picks.
Yep.
Or people that were in contention for being number one overall picks. If the Browns could do it today with truth serum, they would draft Josh Allen. They would not draft Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
Right.
And
that's
they were thinking about it at the time.
Yeah.
If y'all remember the smoke, they were thinking about drafting Josh Allen at the time, and they didn't have the ball.
Jobs over there over them not drafting or drafting Baker Mayfield. Or was that Johnny? Might have been Johnny.
You're probably right, man. I know there was leading up to draft day. I'll never forget. All the headlines were pointing elsewhere, and then draft morning, we have all these different reporters that are in the know. When you see notifications pop up, you believe it. It's like Browns are pursuing Baker Mayfield. Browns pursuing Baker Mayfield. So it's like kind of a last second deal. But yeah, I'm sure they would like to also, or they would like a rerun.
Hey, John, I agree with this comment. Joe Burrow doesn't have an elite offensive line. But when you have a better scheme,
That's that S word. Yep. It matters.
It matters. I can mitigate just the same way Kyle Shanahan is able. I was talking to a 49ers fan after the game, and I was asking him about Mike McGlinchey. And I'm like, yo, what happened to Mike McGlinchey? You know, that guy was a dog coming out of Notre Dame,
about
right
him.
tackle. What's good? And he was like, he was telling me what it was, but he was just basically like, hey, he's not that guy anymore. But it doesn't affect us because we do these hard play actions so many times that we just need whoever's at right tackle to be able to be a very good run blocker and be sufficient in the pass and be sufficient in pass pro to execute what Kyle wants to do. And if we can get away with that, we're fine.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we can't get set. We have and here's something that I want to go back to this comment. I think Freddie said, because Freddie said something I do agree with. First off, I do want to address the super chat. C-Doc said, and thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, C-Doc. C-Doc said, we have to find a better center. Travis Frederick left the gaping hole there. We also have to scrap the offense approach this offseason. We've gotten away from running the ball far too often.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Biadasz was a liability today.
Yep. He got thrown around.
Connor Williams got put on his ass. He got thrown around. The whole offensive line got their ass whooped today.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. That's where we start. That's where this conversation starts tomorrow. Like when we wake up. I'm serious.
I agree. It has to. I mean, I've loved the production out of Tyron, but hey, it might be time
Thank you
for
for
him
the
to hang
super
it up.
chat, C-Dot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think we can upgrade, maybe 4 positions on the offensive line right now as it stands.
Yeah, assuming health, or availability over productivity with Tyron, you can maybe say 4. Yeah, I would say, because there's an obvious injury question mark with him. When he's on the field, he's an all-world player.
True.
But that's a big question mark. So, but yeah, I would say at the very least 3 out of the 5. Because with Lyle Collins too, I mean, he doesn't have a clean slate, so there's stuff to consider. But yeah, I love
drive killers today too.
I personally love Lyle Collins, but I don't know if long term he's going to work out for us. We'll see.
Hey, you talking about getting a value out of a supplemental draft player? I don't think he gets any better than Lyle Collins.
Yeah. It's okay. Richard, yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Okay, so Richard's asking this question.
Yep.
I have to use the restroom real quick. So Lando and Bia, I'm going to let y'all talk about this real quick. I'm going to go off camera for a second. But I want y'all to address Richard's question. So y'all go ahead.
I'll go first. I'll keep it quick, and then it's you, BA. I said a second ago, I think the obvious elephant in the room is Kellen Moore when he's sitting in these coaching meetings for these rooms with these GMs and owners and vice and presidents and COOs, and they're going to point to the week 8 injury of Dak Prescott's calf, and they're going to see a drastic fall off, and they're going to ask him why. And if he doesn't have that answer, then he's not going to be a head coach next year, just like he failed the Boise State job. He's not ready yet. He didn't pass the test because he didn't have a plan for how he was going to approach the recruiting trail. So that's where I'm at on that, BA.
For me, I mean, I started off this whole live chat is I'm torn because to your point, Richard, he is getting all these, hey, we want to have a conversation with this guy. Yet you look at his body of work, what indicates that he's ready to take it over? I haven't seen it yet. Do we see flashes? Absolutely. And those flashes still come season after season, but there's not the consistency of, what you saw of a Sean McVay or a Shanahan as OCs. Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
So I really can't. I mean, to me, hey, what better options are there out there? Maybe an Eric Bieniemy, but there was even a point, in the season where people were questioning him. Now, second half of the season, he's turned it on. He's found ways to do it. So I don't know. Like it's. I think the allure of the brand of what Kellen Moore brings is probably what's getting him into these rooms. But to Lando's point, how's he going to answer these questions when he's sitting face to face in a room with these guys? Yeah. I think he may be 1 or 2 years away from a head coach position. I definitely think it's in his future, but right now, I wouldn't give it to him. I would love to see him as a head coach of the Cowboys, but right now he's not ready, in my opinion, just straight up.
Yep. That's why I think I personally prefer Dan Quinn if there's going to be some sort of a change. And like I said, I think at the very least, if there's any doubt in Jerry Jones's mind about Mike McCarthy as far as his long-term future with this team and can he get us back to the Super Bowl, right? If there's any doubt in Jerry Jones's mind, it might be worth it enough to him, who's already partial to Kellen Moore and already partial maybe now to Dan Quinn, seeing how highly touted he is league-wide, to go ahead and make a move just to preserve one of those two guys and keep them in-house. Like I could see that being a Jerry Jones type decision that's made.
Likewise. I definitely see, one of them leaving, one of them being retained. Which one? I don't know at this point.
Yeah. And now all these rumors too of Dan Quinn being real tight with ownership over in Denver. So it's like, it feels like he's mile high bound right now, which I would hate to see.
Right. But, you talk about a team that beat us this year pretty easy.
Yeah. That's a squad that's built to win a Super Bowl right now, assuming they get that quarterback position, which is the hardest part, by the way. Let's not pretend like that's some easy thing to do. But yeah, I would hate to lose Dan Quinn to the Mile High City.
Who was it? Someone. How much more questions does Eric Bieniemy need? I don't know. To me, I'm surprised he's not a head coach right now, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Especially when you look at some of these people who are head coaches. To me, his body of work and what he's been able to do over his career as an OC, he probably should have had an opportunity by now. Maybe with the carousel that we've seen this year, he finally gets that opportunity. What he does with it to be determined. It's different being an OC and having to focus on one thing versus being the leader of the entire organization from a personnel perspective. Like, there's a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah.
Especially you look at someone like that. Does he handle the offensive play calling duties? Puts a little bit more pressure on him. I mean, you see, to me, I love people who have that type of mentality. I think McVay kind of outlined the blueprint for it. Hey, I'm going to go hire a DC who's the former head coach who can run that. Let me focus on the overall direction and culture and offense. Now I can do that.
We also can't rule out, like, Dan Quinn obviously struggled to he had his fair share of issues in his last couple seasons there in Atlanta. Obviously, that's why he got fired. That's why he became available in the first place. That's why he's here. But do we know for a fact that Dan Quinn wants to be a head coach again after just one season? Can we say that unequivocally? I don't know. I don't know if we can.
No.
Neither.
I mean,
I don't think we can.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know if he's been on interviews or not.
Yeah. So, like, there's all these requests and stuff, and sure, I mean, you might do it just out of due diligence. Maybe you're trying to gather information about other teams in the NFC. I don't know. But we don't know for sure that Dan Quinn wants to be a head coach right now. There's
TD
all these
Live,
reports. But
TD Live, I am making a drink. It's a rough night, man.
Hey.
I'm not going to lie to you, brother. I went downstairs and grabbed the handle of Tito's, brother. I'm not going to lie to you, brother.
Well, you know what?
I love y'all out there.
In that case, let me go refill because I've been empty for a minute and a little bit depressed.
Nah, you go ahead, BA.
In that case, Super Bowl juice, no more.
It's tough. It's tough times out here.
I did want to say too, one other thing we can't rule out is the leverage play between organization and agent of coach to be hired, right, Steve? We could all these reports about where Dan Quinn's going, and I'm not trying to start up like some conspiracy theory, you know what I mean? But everybody's quick to say that Dan Quinn's gone. He's gone, just because he's getting all these interviews. He could be gathering information for one. Or his camp could be trying to get him a bigger paycheck from Jerry Jones to money whip him and keep him around. You ever thought about what it must be like to sit at a round table with Jerry Jones and have him convince you that he wants you to be a part of your organization? Do you know how hard it is to turn that man down? You know what I mean? So
I not only do I agree with that, I think that's a very logical point to get to. BA is back here. I think that's a very logical point to get to in terms of what somebody's motivations are in terms of where Dan Quinn is at the point of his life.
yeah.
I don't know him personally. I don't know about his children or anything like that. If he's somebody who is, we talk about college football on this channel, like a Gary Patterson who's always been in control of everything. And we're talking about Gary Patterson coming potentially to the University of Texas and all that type of stuff. Like, we don't know.
Right.
And so I think, Lando, I think you raise a very valid point in terms of it. Are you gathering data? Interviewing for, are you trying to get your name out there and be picky for the right job? Hey, there's a certain job or a certain look where I wouldn't pass it up. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's just due diligence.
I think there's a better chance that Kellen goes before Dan does. Point in terms of it, are you gathering data?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in a weird way, I hope that's true, because I think if you lose one, you have a great shot at keeping the other, just because of long-term plan. Like we talked about what Jerry Jones prefers to the guys that he's partial to. But I personally, just based on what I saw, I'm very frustrated. Kellen Moore, being as young as he is, I think the sky is the limit for him as a coach. But as of right now, and as it stands with this team, I would be more comfortable seeing Kellen Moore go at this juncture than Dan Quinn. But that's just where I'm at.
I would agree with that. I would actually rather see Kellen Moore as a head coach in a college level and see what he does there, especially with his offensive creativity. And then, understand how to run a program, build a culture, and then bring that to the NFL.
So I see Self Solutions TV here says they need a new offensive identity. And this is something I thought about as I was leaving the stadium and they were talking about and I'm thinking about the stuff that was talked about just BA 24, 40 hours before the game about, well, Mike McCarthy could be out of a job. We elevate Kellen Moore to that coach job.
Right.
And my thought process there is, what if we did something different, right? Like, what if we let Kellen go? Obviously, there's people that are calling him in for interviews. He's wanted. We've talked about this on this live a bunch of times already. What if we finally let him go? Let him cash in, so to speak, on his opportunity. We haven't seen Dak Prescott and this offense. Like, Kellen Moore is the last piece that connects you to the previous Jason Garrett regime and Scott Linehan in a lot of ways. You don't like, what if what's stopping them from going and getting one of the Kubiaks or somebody that has the Alex Gibbs knowledge or the Mike Shanahan knowledge of what they do? Because the way they play offense and the way they coach it is extremely different from the way what the hell we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
And I just think that Dak Prescott, who's 6 years in, 2016, 2022, now going into year 7. He's not 30 yet. He's going to be 29 years old. at some point, let's see him in another scheme. Because I know for a fact, if we had let Dak walk, let's say we had let Dak walk, and somebody brought this up earlier in the chat. If you flip the quarterbacks in this game, San Francisco blows us out of the water. No doubt about it. If San Francisco's on, I'm sorry, if Dak Prescott's on, is running Kyle's scheme. If Dak Prescott's running Kyle's scheme, Kyle has the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And this is a completely different conversation.
Hey, I even say if, hell, he's got Burrow, but Zach Taylor. If Zach Taylor was OC for Dallas, head coach for Dallas, what would that scheme do with the weapons that we have?
Where are we at? Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Brian Dable would get my vote over Eric Bieniemy as far as like I don't know. It's tough to argue with Bieniemy too, but I'm just curious in my head, like, why hasn't he already been hired somewhere? If he was ever going to be, it would have been after his second Super Bowl run. Yeah, right. So that is just weird to me altogether. Like, I don't know. So maybe if that's not going to happen, we can just kind of assume like Brian Daboll's name needs to be considered up there with the Bienemys of the world, in my personal opinion, the Kellen Moores of the world.
And Daboll's done it in college and the NFL at this point.
Proven pedigree at both levels.
The issue with Bieniemy is, there's already this perception around black coaches in the league. That's a whole nother thing right now. The bigger thing is with Bieniemy in particular, he has off the field stuff that happened when he was a player. And I think
that was 20 years ago?
20 years. I agree. It was 20 years ago, but people are holding that against him. I really feel that way. Or else I think he would have been like David Culley got hired before him, bro.
Yeah.
Joe Judge.
David Culley got hired before Bieniemy did. Come on.
I mean, don't get me wrong. As a Cowboys fan, I wish Joe Judge was still there, but seriously.
There's also a narrative going around, and I hear this from people. I'm not in the rooms, that Eric Bieniemy has not been interviewing well.
Yeah. That was kind of what I was hinting at. That's kind of what I was hinting at. Yeah.
Yeah. I've
like,
heard.
Why hasn't he already been hired? You know what I mean?
What? So I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could see him as someone who doesn't interview well.
There was some weird report about that leaked last year, wasn't there? Like something kind of like off or odd about him. Like I remember his somebody questioned his character, whether it was true or not. I'm not trying to just start rumors and stuff.
Who, Bieniemy?
Yeah. Am I dreaming that, or
you said somebody that was questioning his what? His character?
Yeah, like as to why he was there some off the field incident that happened with him, or did I dream that?
No, there was. It was when he was a player.
Okay. That's what it was.
Yeah, Colorado.
Yeah. That's right.
Colorado.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I think there was some stuff that happened when he was obviously not the head coach, but was on the staff at Colorado. Okay. And there was some players, I guess, that he brought in or whatever, that stuff went sideways. I don't know the full scope with Bieniemy.
I got you.
But it's just weird that people talk about, well, he hasn't called. I just don't. All I'm saying is if you're going to say Eric Bieniemy shouldn't be a coach, have some empirical data as to why. Don't tell me that, well, he's not. Well, he doesn't call plays. Andy Reid calls plays. Yeah. That's bullshit because Matt Nagy got a job as the OC and wasn't calling plays. Yeah. Right? Doug Peterson.
How many quarterbacks did he run?
Doug Peterson got a job and won a Super Bowl and wasn't calling the plays when Andy Reid was there. So that's bullshit, right? That's bullshit. Like, what's the empirical data as to, like, if you're telling me it's an off the field thing or you have something solid, then I don't know. It's weird. But I mean, David Culley got a job before.
That's crazy.
I mean,
yeah, that's crazy.
It is crazy. I also think he was
John
fired randomly, but the fact he was hired before is crazy.
Who,
Oh.
Jimmy?
He
Hey,
said,
that boy Jimmy, he cool.
who helped his daddy become a good coach then?
Hold on, what? I missed it.
That's so funny right there. He was just talking about Mike Shanahan because somebody said that Kyle got he got a leg up because his dad was a good coach. And so John said, well, who helped his dad become a good coach then?
Nah,
That's
Kyle.
funny. There it is.
Kyle showed his worth to me. And this was my biggest fear. If y'all listen to our videos, the video I did with Landon, the video I did with Jimmy, who just got home safe. Shout out to Jimmy Johnson. My biggest issue with Kyle is I didn't want to face him because I know what he can present creativity wise.
Right.
Even more so than Cliff. I wanted to play Arizona again because we had already seen them.
Oh yeah.
We had already downloaded a lot of info, even what Vance Joseph does defensively. I personally wanted to play Arizona again out of the potential matchups that were available to us. Kyle is a different animal. Okay? What he's doing with Deebo Samuel, and I asked Jimmy this during the game, and this is something you guys got to ask yourselves. If the Cowboys had drafted Deebo Samuel, whatever round, I don't give a shit. When he was available and coming out of South Carolina, the Cowboys had gotten hold of Deebo Samuel. Would Deebo Samuel be used in the capacity that he is being used in Kyle Shanahan's office to maximize his skill set? In your opinion, you go ahead, BA. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was reading the chat, didn't even hear the question.
Yo, I was guilty of the same thing. I'm
What?
sorry.
No, you good. You good.
What was the question? I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. No, because we got to keep up with the chat. My question was, if we had drafted Deebo Samuel and we asked Kyle, if the Dallas Cowboys had drafted Deebo Samuel,
Okay.
would we use him in the capacity that he is being used in Kyle Shanahan's offense?
Absolutely
all
not.
the variety that he's
Absolutely
doing.
not.
No.
He wouldn't be a Pro Bowler.
No.
He would not be a Pro Bowler if
No.
he was drafted by the Cowboys. Look
No.
at what we have now. You want to tell me, hey, if I line up a CeeDee Lamb versus a Deebo, which player are you drafting out of college? I mean, I would take CeeDee Lamb, but you have someone like Shanahan who can draft a guy and it's like, hey, I see what you've played, but here's what I think you can be.
Here's what
I can
who's who
utilize
you
you
are.
in different
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
And we see him doing that. I mean, this guy did he even throw a few passes this year? He's caught passes, he's took handoffs, he's thrown passes. He has really brought out the best of a Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you don't fit a true position in an NFL offense, but I see that you're a very talented athlete, and I know how to use you.
If we're being honest, we use Cedric Wilson the way that I would have expected us to use CD like this year.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. I agree.
So
I agree with that.
one guy was
100%.
drafted 17th overall. One of them wasn't.
I want to address DeMarcus. Thank you for the super chat because this is something we need to talk about. And thank you. I really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
What are your feelings on Randy Gregory? I always feel like he's on the verge of doing something dumb to hurt the team. I'm going to go first here. And I have an unpopular opinion in regards to Randy Gregory. Randy Gregory was self-aware today. What do I mean by that? He's facing Silverback Trent Williams. Randy Gregory, to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, especially Landon, I don't know if Randy Gregory's been the most penalized guy on our defense.
No.
Year. I don't really think I don't remember hearing 94 getting called consistently for stuff. Man,
he was DPO.
Trayvon Diggs.
He was DPOY for me on this defense for the first 7 weeks of the season before his injury. Like, he was balling.
So my thing with Randy is, and this is also a Dan Quinn type question. If you want to go down to Aiden Durde or whoever, Randy was only really lined up on Trent Williams' side. He was lined up over the left tackle.
Yeah, he got neutralized tonight.
He's trying to guess the snap.
Yep.
He's like, that's the only way he can win over Silverback. Trent Williams is an elite player, not just in pass pro, but also in run blocking as well.
Trent Williams might be a top 2 player in football, but top 3.
All
top
of football.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
So I feel like Randy is literally trying to do whatever he can to get into the game. Because what we don't understand as Cowboys fans is that Trent Williams has been doing that to whoever he's been up against all year long. The thing is the penalties started popping up. And we liked our matchup with Tank Lawrence on the other side, so we weren't going to flip him. And Tank Lawrence made some plays from his end.
Exactly.
Randy,
that's why we did it. That's why we put Gregory on Trent Williams. So we can have Gregory and Parsons line up next to each other. One of them's going to take a double team, and you're expecting the other to beat his man one-on-one. That's exactly why we do it. So, yeah, Randy Gregory tonight is a factor. But overall, especially at Orlando's point, first 7 games, that dude was balling. I mean, out of control. And tonight we asked him to do a job. Hey, you're going to go against, as Steve called, a silverback. We need you to do whatever because you sacrificing yourself should free up opportunities on the other side.
Yep.
It didn't turn out that way, but I like Randy Gregory. I think he's a very good player. I think, the situation that we have him is pretty good. It's suitable for us. So I don't know if I wouldn't even say it's an unpopular opinion with that, Steve. I just think if you understand football and what we're asking players to do versus just being a fan, you have 2 different perspectives.
Mm-hmm. What? I don't even know this off top, man. I can't even think. Like I said, it's still all
Thank
a
you for
blur
the
to
super
me.
chat, Dimple Wonder. Don't think my first super chat went through, so I'm gonna send another just in case. Cool with the opportunity to support you a little extra, though.
Oh, heck
I
yeah,
appreciate you, brother. Lando,
Thank you,
go
dude.
in.
I don't know how much you guys saw, and I'm curious to hear the chat's thoughts too. I'll have to go back and check the all 22 when it drops. How often was Micah lined up on the same side with Randy Gregory on Trent Williams? Because I thought that was going to be maybe the best way to gain an advantage on that side of the ball and let D-Law just go to work on his own is lining up, putting 2 speed demons on that left side on Trent and just kind of making him a step slower, having to guess which guy to pick up, which stunt to take away. You know what I mean? So did you guys see that a lot or no? Because I don't recall personally.
I noticed more Parsons and Tank next to each other versus Randy Gregory.
Okay.
But that's just when I was paying attention to that because generally in the game I'm paying attention to either D-line, secondary. Like I'm going to focus in on someone particular. But when I was paying attention to those, especially in pass rushing situations, which is when I focused on the D-line a little bit more, I would usually see D-Law and Parsons next to each other. And again, my mentality there is one of them gets a one-on-one, you're expecting one of them to win that one-on-one rather quickly.
Yep.
I saw the same thing BA saw. I saw Micah more so lined up next to D-Law, Orlando.
Okay. Interesting.
But I think we might, when you go through the all 22, let me know. We might have to chart that.
Mm-hmm.
We got nothing but time now.
Nothing but time.
So we might have to chart that, honestly.
How's your fishing skills?
Yeah.
From my raw view, I was really frustrated, with the opening drive because we literally I felt like you were using Micah as a defensive end.
Yep.
And I think you made it easy for Kyle.
Yep. I also thought that I noticed we had Micah on the second level early on, and he was kind of playing flat-footed, like on his heels a little bit. He's at his best when he's not thinking and just literally being an athlete and going and hunting the ball down. And so I thought that was the adjustment made, was that Micah, we didn't see him lined up in the second level that often in the second half, and that's when we held him to 7 points. He was the great equalizer from that point on. But early in the game, and it's what I thought would happen. It's what I expected to see. So I wasn't surprised, but it just didn't work. And I'm glad that Dan Quinn made the adjustment. So kudos again.
There was also something about his pass rush from that second level. Like it just wasn't as effective.
Yeah.
You can see he tried to time up a few blitzes and showed a little bit too early. They were able to account for him.
Right.
There was something just he's a skilled enough player. He's a talented enough player where he can do that for you. But to your point, that second half when he was just able to play one position, do one job, be an athlete, be the athlete he can be, it worked out better for our defense.
Yeah.
I wanted Micah to do that, and Dan Quinn got there. So I'm gonna do something quick real quick. So if I do 72 minus 26, well, hold on real quick, because I suck at math.
Me too. I'm not
That's
even gonna
what,
pretend like I can
46?
do that.
That's
My
46, right? So 9. So if we do 9, what's 9 divided? What's 46 divided by 9 is 5.1.
Yep.
Okay. So follow me here. Elijah Mitchell had 27 carries today for 96 yards. 27 carries by their running back. He didn't even get over 100 yards. He averaged 3.7 yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
He ran a lot of toss sweeps. All the toss sweeps.
It was all that
And
perimeter stuff.
Pretty much all the
All
perimeter
tackle.
stuff.
Lived off
When
that.
we move Micah out, because Jimmy is in the chat right now. Jimmy can attest to this. After the first drive, I said, if we don't move Micah out, they're going to run for 300 yards on us. It's going to be like the Rams again. We need to move Micah out. Let everybody else scrape and deal with all the bullshit blocks and the lanes and gap control and all this. Let 11 fly sideline to sideline.
Let him hunt.
Let him run, okay? But I need him to be off the ball this time.
Let that lion hunt.
And when they did that, did y'all not see him getting sideline to sideline?
Yeah.
Okay,
for
so
sure.
Elijah Mitchell
That's true.
had 27 carries, 96 yards. All right. Deebo Samuel, who is part-time receiver, part-time running back, full-time badass offensive weapon, full-time one of the best players in the league. All the respect on Deebo's name. Deebo today had 10 carries. I'm just talking about his run stuff. 10 carries, 72 yards, and the touch. His touchdown was a 26-yard touchdown run,
Yeah.
BA. That touchdown run happened after the interception, I believe.
Yep. Right.
I believe
after
we
that.
threw
the very next
the
play.
pick.
Very next play.
And the very next play, they ran some sort, like we literally were just discombobulated, right? So
Outside zone, and he cut it back smooth.
He cut it back. Special players make special plays in big games.
Yep.
That aside, Deebo had 9 carries for 46 yards. And that includes all the shit they were doing on the first drive. I'm not freaking out over that.
No.
When we made our adjustments. I'm not freaking. That's why I was doing the math right there. Because I wanted to know that touchdown that happened right after a pick in our own territory where dudes are, you know how it is. Y'all have played sports. Momentum matters. And you come out there and you're like, shit, we are in a hole right now. Oh my God, this guy just cut it back. Right. But then once we get settled.
That's why playing your starters in week 18 matters too, because momentum matters.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Again, Trey, sorry for your parlay, but I thought we were riding a good wave coming off that Philly game. I have no idea. It's like almost a Jekyll and Hyde situation from last week to this week.
Yep.
Steve Sexton won't leave me alone.
Steve, he's been in here for the whole show, man. 2 hours. Shout out to Steve.
I was drinking
Appreciate
regardless. It's unfortunate that I'm drinking in an L, man.
For sure.
Again, shout out to BUSR, our official sponsor, our official sportsbook, official betting partner, Fanatic Perspective. Guys, do y'all have 10 more minutes? Landon?
I got all night, bro.
Hey, it's MLK holiday tomorrow. I ain't got shit.
Yeah, it's MLK Day tomorrow. We all off.
Yep.
We talking. This is, unfortunately, this is our
I wanted to
funeral.
be celebrating
Right.
tonight, but
Hey, I was drinking the vino thinking I was going to be celebrating a victory. So when you hit me up, I was like, look, I'm a bottle deep. I don't know what's liable to come out my mouth.
yeah.
All right,
It
Richard
hurts.
Walker says, Steve, our run game is a volume run game. We're not going to pop 20 plus runs unless Mostert playing. Why did y'all have Mostert back there when Raheem was healthy? And before, y'all had that brother that went to Buffalo as well, who's in Buffalo right now.
Oh, you're talking about Matt Breida.
Matt Breida.
Yeah. Gosh, I drew a blank in my
Right? And then, because Richard knows he's won. See, so let me explain something about Richard Walker here, because I like Richard Walker, but he's playing the game right now, and I see his bullshit. All right, Richard is a Texas fan. I love Richard. He's a longtime subscriber. God bless you. All the disclaimers, philanthropist. He's an awesome person. All the wonderful things you can say about Richard. But Richard's on his bullshit right now because he's trying to rub it in because he thinks I'm an annoying Cowboys fan. So now he's trying to tell me that the 49ers are a volume run game. Richard, sir, respectfully, that's bullshit. Okay? Yeah. All the brothers y'all have had back in that backfield since Kyle's been there have been track guys.
Track meet.
Matt Breida's. Right? Now,
Jerick
McKinnon.
Yeah. Elijah Mitchell.
I was about to say Elijah Mitchell.
Even JaMychal Hasty was viable. I mean, dude, they're pulling guys off the street.
He's a waiver wire pickup for a long time.
These dudes can run. Yeah. Bro, when Kyle Shanahan was in Atlanta, he had another 4.38 guy in Tevin Coleman.
Yep.
I'm not saying all his backs. Not everybody's Alfred Morris. Okay, I understand what he did with Alfred Morris in Washington,
and he was even a 1,000-yard rusher with him.
Yeah, but to say that he's a volume run game guy, no, he sticks with the run, and we saw that in Week 18 against the Rams when they were down 17-0, and he didn't deviate from his game plan at all. It was still running counter, Landon. And then they started breaking them. Like, I respect that. Okay. But if we're talking about Kyle Shanahan and what they like to do, to say, Richard, come on, bro, you're being disingenuous. They like to pop some.
Mm-hmm. And they do. It's not like they freaking do. Repeatedly.
Right. He's so creative in how he gets these touches.
Was Debo's 26-yard run game, was that a volume run, or was that a pop run?
That's why Debo's back there.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have a Matt Breida.
What was that
right now?
What was that?
That was a 26-yard deep cutback, and Debo beats everybody inside. So I don't want to hear about he doesn't like to pop him off, and he's a volume run game guy. That's nonsense.
Yeah,
you don't run those type of misdirections and counters with people that can't break them. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Richard, you know that. You're being disingenuous, brother.
I'm looking at this chat. Jeff Wilson Jr. Who the hell knew about that guy? He's had plenty of 100-yard games. Trey Sermon, if he didn't get hurt. I mean, what Shanahan
Richard
does.
Said I'm talking this year. All right.
What's that?
He changed it up a little bit. All right. He said he's talking.
Had to clarify a little bit.
I love you, Richard. We just talking right now. I'm salty. Yeah. Y'all won. We lost. I'm salty too. But to sit up here and say that y'all a volume run team, that's bullshit. No. You know that.
They're a volume run team only because they have a quarterback that they don't want throwing the ball. They do it in quantities, but they're good at it, and they pop big runs at the same time. Like, it's all happening.
For sure.
But Kyle still wants the explosive plays.
And he gets them.
He gets them because he moves somebody else back there to get it for him.
Yeah.
However he takes
like, I don't have Matt Breida anymore, so I'm going to move Debo back there. Fuck it. That's what he did.
That's what he did.
Yep. What does Debo do?
Crib.
He becomes an all-pro.
Crib City. Yeah. When's the last time Zeke had a 26-yard run?
Landon, that was.
I'm at to Google it. I have no clue.
Sorry. Sorry, man.
That hurt a little bit, man.
Hey, appreciate you,
Considering
Forrest.
we're paying him $9 million this year, that kind of hurts. That hurts a little bit.
Look at Steve.
That hurt.
Yeah.
That was the last time Zeke had a 26-yard run.
Oh, man. I'm
I mean,
sorry,
what was
guys.
it? How many touches
sorry.
did Zeke have today? 12?
Who?
Zeke.
Zeke
had 12 rushes?
12 carries for 31 yards and 1 catch for 0.
Wow. We're paying him how much? I mean, it's just that's PCL be damned. If you're on the field in a playoff game, hey, if you're not 100%, I get it, but don't play. But if you're on the field, I expect to get the value, especially if we're paying you high dollar for a position where, hey, we can go and find a 6th-round draft pick who can produce.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know.
I'm
not
salty
saying
as
that-
hell, Steve Sexton.
I mean, I'm salty too. Like, shit.
You fucking kidding me? I'm salty as hell, man.
I love Steve
Norton.
right
Norton Salt.
now.
Norton salt. I'm that sea salt, bro. I'm that Mediterranean sea salt that you put on your steaks, bro. I'm
Thought you were
salty
gonna
as
say
hell.
Himalayan out here.
Dude.
Brother, I don't deserve this. I love the Cowboys and the Longhorns. My Spurs are a disaster. Although I want the Spurs to tank. Don't tell Jimmy
Hey.
that.
My Mavs got Luka. That's all that matters
know.
right now.
I believe in the NBA.
I can't even watch my Mavs on TV, damn it.
Bro, it's
Although we need
I'm
to get rid of
miserable.
KP.
This is ridiculous.
I'm miserable. Guys, in all seriousness, everybody that's in here in the chat, 154, hit the like button, number 1. Number
Please.
2,
It helps us out.
I posted a video from Surfer Boy. Those of you who follow college football, y'all y'all know who Surfer Boy is that are in the chats on the regular. He's always talking about Georgia Bulldogs constantly all season. This isn't new. Surfer Boy is not new to this. I think I saw Surfer Boy when we play Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and we became friends and all that type of stuff.
That was a happy football
I posted
memory.
a video from Surfer Boy because I promised him that if his team ever won the national championship, he had free will to post whatever he wanted on my channel. I posted a video the other day with his victory lap. Go look at the emotion that he had
Yeah, I saw
in
that.
that video.
That was cool. That was really
I
cool.
felt it. I felt
When
it.
he talked about his father that's no
Yeah.
longer with him and what it meant,
Yep.
right? This is why we're on here at 12 o'clock in the morning. Why Landon and I 12:15 in the morning. Why Landon and I are out here in Texas Live and in AT&T Stadium supporting the team and losing our voices. Why Brandon and I, whether we agree or disagree, I run more football stuff by Brandon than I do anybody else in my life. I really do. And Brandon, I don't know if I've ever told you this before, but I'm telling you now, as much as I fucking disagree with you all the time, I do run more stuff by you because I respect your opinion so very much.
Yep.
And you
I
say a lot of
appreciate
bullshit sometimes too, man. But
Hey,
I
so do
love
you.
you.
I'm trying to beat
And
the
you're
homer out
smart.
of you.
Okay.
I agree.
What?
I'm just trying to beat the homer out of you sometimes. I mean, it goes back to the Connor Williams conversation a few weeks ago. I'm looking at this objectively. You got too much emotion in your heart, brother. We gotta let that shit go sometimes.
Oh, hey, Dimple got me, yo. He actually got me.
What did he say? Thank you for the super chat, Dim.
Yo, Dimple. Shoot, bro. Hey, I didn't even
Dimple
realize
got-
that when I said it, but that's actually crazy ironic. That is hilarious. So last
That
week,
is.
damn it, 7 days ago. Zeke. Actually, no, 8 days ago. Yo, I forgot we had an extra day to prepare, and we still look that bad today offensively.
Here's the thing.
Damn, I'm more
After-
pissed now. I'm going to bed.
That really did piss me off because I think about this. After I watched San Francisco's opening script, I expected us to do something very similar, just to march down the field and score. Because we've had the time to prepare. Our offense coming from last week was clicking on pretty much every cylinder we can click on. I was expecting something similar, something that we marched down the field, we generated points. And what we did in that first series, I was just like, huh, this is what we decided? And then the second series, we're starting to get something going, and then we have drive killers.
Yeah, we have the penalties screwed up the second drive. I agree with that.
And it,
But I can't even give the coaches credit for the second drive because the second drive, they were moving the ball because of the players were just making plays. I think that's another thing that people need to understand. We weren't winning on that second drive because of scheme. It was because people were just winning. I said all week,
Effort.
the 49ers corners were food.
Yeah.
Watching this game today, I still feel that way. And that's why I'll be very honest with you about those of you who are in here that are 49ers fans, because y'all do have a very, very good football team. And I understand what y'all were saying about we needed to get healthy. And that's why we lost so many games. I hear y'all now. I really do. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything. Y'all ain't going to get away with that if y'all have to play Green Bay. Y'all not going to get away with that with those corners. We just weren't able to take advantage of it the way we needed to.
Yeah. 12
And at times we were.
12 will make you pay.
And they got a
when Dak notices it's cover one and Amari Cooper's isolated with K'Wan Williams, it's food. Okay. But unfortunately, Dak missed opportunity there. I do put that on him. Should have taken better advantage of the coverage. I will be. See, y'all never hear when I actually blame him for stuff. He should have, when they were in cover one, he should have been so effective against cover one that they couldn't run it the rest of the game. They had to run zone like the Eagles had to run zone against Tampa Bay and got sparked. That's what it should have looked like. Number two, and this is something else I want to get to as well. This comment here by Kevin Jones in terms of the fan base.
Unacceptable.
Right?
Never acceptable. Never.
I was in the stands. The gentleman, maybe one or two seats to my right, was one of the people that threw something on the field.
I can see this. At least it wasn't dildos like they were doing in Buffalo. I don't know what that shit about. But
Buffalo was in a full-on vibe, BA, with the Viagra and all that and the cold tips. You couldn't tell them Nathan. Yo, I wouldn't be surprised if the Winter Soldier, Josh Allen himself, took some Viagra. The way he was looking.
Didn't someone recommend it to get the blood going?
It was somebody did. Some former NFL player.
It was Bart Scott.
Bart Scott. Yeah.
Bart Scott said take the Viagra.
Yeah.
So Josh Allen took it and became the Winter Soldier. And proceeded to annihilate Bill Belichick. I've never seen anybody play quarterback at that level in cold weather the way this man did.
He was playing in his backyard. It was backyard football. Y'all saw that touchdown that he threw to Dawson Knox, the very first touchdown to Dawson. I think there was 2 total between the two.
I thought he was throwing that away.
Dude, I did too. I was like,
Richard, you're not wrong on this comment. You're not wrong. The touchdown that y'all gave up in the first half was a deep throw to Amari Cooper out of the slot. I believe it was more of like a wheel route type deal. It was man coverage. Your boy Williams got cooked. Okay, they were food. Devontae Adams. Out of that, Devontae Adams lines up in that 50% of the time. Good luck with that whenever y'all cross that bridge. I'm not saying that's what's going to cost y'all the game or y'all will overcome. I'm not picking the games right now. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is y'all deserve credit. Congrats on the win. Good luck moving forward. You're not perfect, even after today. Okay? Because if y'all were perfect, y'all would have blown us out. Y'all were up
23
22 to
been
7.
a 6-point game.
7.
Y'all
We
were up
wouldn't have had a
22
chance
to
to win
7.
that. We shouldn't have had a chance to win that.
We shouldn't have had a chance to win. Also, part of the reason why Dak doesn't throw deep is also because of the offense that we run and also the reluctance of the quarterback. So you are correct, but that is shared blame between Dak Prescott and, in my opinion, Kellen Moore.
That's yeah, and that's also shared blame with a lack of a running game because they're always in 2 deep sets. Most of the time. Teams are defending us by allocate like to how many times did Tony Romo say it tonight? They were winning with a 4-man front and applying everybody else in coverage. And we don't have an answer because we can't run the ball against 2 high safeties. And you damn sure can't do it whenever you're down 23 to 7. So
And
that's why Dak didn't throw the ball deep tonight. But yes, I mean, I see what he's saying.
And you look at how KC turned their season around when people started running 2 high safeties again. They developed a run game. You mean to tell me with Zeke and Pollard we couldn't do the same? We couldn't see something to do to generate a run game? I mean, I remember early in the season we're running a freaking triple option on 3rd and 2 and getting the first down and converting. We're being very creative.
Very creative.
What happened to that? Where'd it go?
I don't know if I saw one pulling concept against pre-snap motion tonight for our run game. And that is what we did so well early on in the season. I didn't see that tonight.
I mean, we have athletic offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Utilizing. I mean, hell, with McGovern lining up at fullback, that should tell you how athletic these guys are. And to your point, I didn't see it either. I can't recall one time that it happened. Why not?
Yeah.
They're killing us with the counter.
The only times we get offensive linemen in space is when we try to run these phantom wide receiver screens and running back screens that just get blown up, and just because of a lack of execution. I don't know. Just
ask Jimmy tonight. We did the little twin stack. As soon as we came out in the twin stack, I literally looked at him. I was like, "This is a damn wide receiver screen," and we threw it. Now it ended up being a successful play. I think CeeDee Lamb actually got a first down on it. But I was like, Jimmy, I have a problem with the fact that I was able to ID that sitting in section 201 as Joe Random Fan. Joe Random Fan with some random ass YouTube channel. I shouldn't be able to call that out from my seat because I can't call Kyle stuff out.
No, nobody can really.
The play, by the way. So somebody wanted to address the end of the game, and some of y'all saying Dak disappointed. Dak didn't throw well deep. I didn't like the decision that Dak made when Jimmy. First of all, I knew Jimmy Ward wasn't going to catch that ball because he never catches balls like that. If you've watched Jimmy Ward play, I knew he wasn't going to catch that ball. That should have been a pick. You're absolutely right on the deep throw. I didn't like the play because we moved Sed outside. We had the extra lineman in the game that Lando has touched on multiple times throughout this stream. And it was, I think our personnel set was just weird. And I'm like, why are we throwing a go route to Sed in double? It didn't make any sense to me.
Oh, yeah.
And so
that should have been a pick. That was terrible.
It should have been a pick. And I was upset with Dak because I'm like, even though it's a shitty play call, don't even go, like, either check to a run or don't throw it.
Yeah, don't compound the shittiness in that situation, which is exactly what he
did.
Don't
compound it. Don't compound the error. All right. We had a bad play call, and that's something I had to learn in high school. One time my offensive play caller told me, because I played quarterback in high school, and we called a screen pass that I ended up throwing a pick on. He was like, "That was a bad play call on me. I take full responsibility." And that's when I learned coaches can take responsibility for stuff, because it happened to me in high school. He was like, "That was my fault, Steve. However, you don't have to run the play like if you see something, say something.
Throw it at his feet."
Right? Well, those of you who work in corporate America and you're in the Me Too era now, and we don't want people to we don't want our women to be attacked anymore and people to be taken advantage of. If you're at the helm, if you see something, say something. Throw the ball in the dirt. Throw it at his feet, like BA said. You don't have to just take it.
Don't compound the error.
Don't compound the error, right? And so, in my opinion, that was a bad throw. We got away with one there where it wasn't a turnover, but I don't know how. I have to go back and watch the game. I don't know how that even played out in the outcome of the game, all things considered. I do want to get to the end of the game because we really haven't talked about this as long as we've been in here. What is y'all's thoughts on the QB sneak to not even get an opportunity to put the ball in the end zone?
All right. My thoughts. Conceptually, I understand what you're doing there. The execution couldn't have been more piss poor. And I say that because at this point, we go back to the Claypool when he caught the ball, they're trying to spike it, he's celebrating, stuff like that. At this point, if you don't know to give the ball to the referee so they can spot it so you can spike the ball, that's on coaching. That's discipline. That's simple. I don't mind the play call. But then you get up, you find the referee, you get him spotted, you spike it. It's, to McCarthy's point, it is better to run 4 verticals from the 25 than a Hail Mary. So I get that. But if you're not going to execute the play before, it's a moot. It doesn't matter. And the execution on that play was shit. Excuse my language. It was not well executed.
Can I ask this question?
Go ahead.
Matt, yeah, I'm going to ask this question too. So, completely understand BA and I hear him. That's money. Does the official not only have to approach the line of scrimmage, touch the football, just touch it, and then the play can then proceed? Do I have that?
So that's also something I was talking about in a group chat. I think because, the NFL made the rule where the umpire goes behind the quarterback. I think in 2-minute scenarios, he needs to go back behind the defense. Because that allows him to get in there, touch the ball, set it faster than having to sprint from behind the quarterback, navigate through an offensive line.
That's been an issue in multiple games already, where the official is holding up the ability to snap the ball. That's a big problem.
Twice today. Twice. It happened to us twice on the fakes, the special teams fake punt.
Yeah. He did come up from behind and hold. Yeah.
He held Dak up.
By the way, I was loving that drive until that decision. Until that point where I didn't agree with it. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Even with everything going on and the official, I do understand what the Cowboys are trying to do. Because I actually told Jimmy, and Jimmy can attest to this when he comes back. I know he's probably knocked out right now because he had to drive back from Arlington back to Austin. So I'm glad he made it home safe and he checked in with us. But when Jimmy sees this video, maybe he can comment in the comments below. I told Jimmy then, I'm like, if I'm Kellen with 14 seconds left where we were, I do want to get inside the 30 because now it's not just like a Hail Mary scenario. Now I can run. Conceptually, I can actually run some shit and try to get in the end zone. It's still going to all be verticals, but I can run a post. I could try to, do something to take the safety's eyes off of something, all to get somebody isolated in the end zone. That's my goal. Yep. So I said I wanted to get inside the 30. I did say that when before that whole play happened. I told Jimmy that. I was like, if I'm a play caller, I want to try to get another however many yards so I can get inside the 30. Because as a quarterback, I can, and Landon probably can relate to this better because you've been gifted with a major league arm. I can drive the ball to somebody from 30 yards away if they're isolated for a second. Because we saw Dak do this with Cedric Wilson on like a 3rd and 20 when we needed to get and he got 19, and then I think we ended up converting it and moving the chains, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, hold me accountable in the comments.
We did.
But Dak did drive the ball on a 3rd and 20 to Cedric Wilson, tight needles, similar to what Derek Carr did with Darren Waller in the Bengals-Raiders game when it was 3rd and 17 on their side. It was a very, very similar type, fitted in between the safety and the guy that was covering underneath. My thing is, I understand what the Cowboys were trying to do, trying to get close enough to where if you see something for a second, somebody's isolated, to drive the football and not throw it up in the air. Because, yeah, your odds on a Hail Mary or throwing it up in the air from the 50-yard line are very, very slim. We know that. They're very, very slim. And we don't have Michael Gallup. We don't have people that are the type of guys that are just going to go and get the ball vertically. Something was up with CeeDee Lamb where he was coming in and out of the game after he caught the first one and pitched it, or did he pitch it or did he catch it and run out of bounds? He was either the pitch man or the catch man, whatever he was. But he got injured on that play.
Yeah.
So we didn't really have a guy that could go up vertically on a Hail Mary.
Yeah. He was the hook and ladder. You talk about the hook and ladder play. He was the catch man, and he got tackled out of bounds and like tweaked his ankle or something. Yeah.
My whole thing is I'm not running that play because it's too freaking risky. Even in that scenario, I'm either running something to the sidelines again, and if my quarterback has to throw it out of bounds, he has to throw it out of bounds. That's where I do trust the quarterback.
So
and your discretion.
They did, on that drive, they were giving us the sidelines until basically that scenario. They started covering the sidelines. That's why I don't mind the play call.
Full shell. Yeah.
Then you see Dak. He probably should have went down maybe 5 yards sooner. But he sees there's nothing but open field. He tries.
It was so much open field.
He said that in his press conference. Go listen to it. Everybody in the comments, go listen to it. His press conference after the game. He said, "Yes, I could have slid earlier. I could have slid sooner. But yes, the referee also could have not trucked me and not respotted the ball twice. Not once, but twice. Go watch the replay.
He did, but I hate putting the game in a ref's hands.
Absolutely. 100%. We shouldn't have been in that position anyways. Like I said, you had the ball up ahead of 2 minutes, 3 timeouts, 2 minutes and change. Go win the game. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Go win the game. It shouldn't have came down to that. You're right. Absolutely.
New Pilot, 1,000% agree with you.
Oh, we talked about that.
Because we're a YouTube channel and we have a game, we have to address what actually happened. So I agree with you. We shouldn't have been in this position. But because we have to react to this stuff, we're addressing what actually happened. So therefore, we were in the situation because we're an undisciplined football team. We get penalized a lot. And therefore, also we procrastinate in football games. We wait till it's like I knew somewhere deep down in my soul when they reviewed the Deebo Samuel reverse. By the way, that was a great play call by Kyle Shanahan, by the way.
It was.
You don't see anybody else running that type of play. Everybody else hands the ball off or throws a screen. Yeah. This guy ran a damn reverse on a jet motion or orbit motion, I should say. I think it was more of an orbit motion. I got to look at the film. He ran a reverse on like an orbit motion to Deebo Samuel, and he almost got a first down on like 3rd and 13.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was an amazing play call by him. They needed this much.
Yeah.
And if
the game should have been over. The game should have been like when I'm telling y'all at my section, everybody was clearing out.
Yep.
Cowboys fan. People were clearing. They're like, oh, this is over. Because he's going to go for it. He just needs to lean on the center and get the first down. And what happened? Because I said, Jimmy and I are like, yo, this is not – Cowboys games never end this way.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to punish us. So somehow, some way, They're either going to fumble the snap, there's going to be a penalty, or we're going to blow up the play and Neville Gallimore is going to guess the cadence. Neville Gallimore is going to guess the cadence and blow up the center. And
Or
lo
there's
and
going to be
behold, they
another
get a
defensive
fucking
holding.
false start. And
Or-
have to punt.
Or our quarterback just might get trucked by an official. You never know.
Yeah.
What's
I
it
do
going to be
think
this
that
week,
they need
Cowboys
to-
fans? Stay tuned for more.
I mean, I think the officiating definitely needs to review some of their policies based on not only our game, but the Bengals game. Because they're doing they need to review some things. They really do.
Absolutely. Man,
Kevin
I'm having
Jones,
too much fun
yes,
with this.
I think all the motions in Kyle's offense confuse the defense. I think
You know what? Hey, Tony Romo
Yeah.
said at the beginning, one of his keys was eye discipline. Having eye discipline, because there is a lot of window dressing with Shanahan's offense. A lot of, he did it with the Debo Samuel on the third down conversion, but he'll send a running back in motion to one side, run a jet sweep, or run a handoff outside zone opposite of the motion. And that was a very successful play for them.
Yep.
Especially if they realize, oh, they're in man. We see this guy chasing the running back. We have the numbers. Puts us.
Yeah.
If there was no eye discipline, there was no gap responsibility in those situations. I mean, credit to Shanahan for drawing that up and knowing what fits best against us. But where's the counter to that? Sit in the zone. All right, hey, we're going to be here. We're going to be ready.
Yep.
guys, before we end, just off the top of y'all's head, because we're with the tight ends today, this is going to look different next year.
A little bit.
A little bit,
We're the
depending
tight ends
on
today. Shit,
what happens with certain positions. In my opinion, I think you do pay Randy Gregory. I think you want to keep this organization has invested so much into him, even off the field.
Yeah.
I think you figure out a way to keep him, even
He's
with
not going anywhere.
what he'll. You don't think we will?
I don't think. No. I'm saying I say you're right. I'm saying he's not going anywhere because.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But people like, Dalton Schultz, who I think Dalton Schultz, based upon his numbers, and this is kind of the Dak Prescott thing again.
Yeah.
Where the numbers fall versus where you think the player is, right? Everybody says, well, is Dak a $40 million quarterback? No, I don't see that. I don't think Dak, because Brandon and I got into a very vicious argument last night about the definition of a generational talent. I think we can all agree Dak Prescott's not a generational talent.
No.
Dak Prescott is somebody who's worked very, very hard, has refined his skills, has all of the football IQ and does all the things great, right? But the ball doesn't come out of his hand like Justin Herbert. The ball doesn't come out of his hand like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes.
Doesn't have an
he's not
elite
even a
trait.
Kyler Murray.
He doesn't have an elite trait.
And when you talk about a Kyler Murray runs a 4.3, right? Like there's levels to this.
And can fling it 60 yards in the air, sidearm.
There's nothing there. He's not that type of guy. But from a production standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, from a standpoint, and Colin Cowherd seems to be the only person that understands this in the media, which is a little interesting.
I actually like Colin.
So people say Dak's overrated. People need to understand that playing quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys is not the same as playing quarterback for any other franchise.
No.
Period.
That's true.
If Dak Prescott was the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, they have 12 or 13 wins, in my opinion.
Yep.
If Dak Prescott is the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, they figure out a way to make the playoffs. The 49ers are not in the playoffs, in my opinion. That's the difference.
Yep.
Because while we see, the thing is, as Cowboys fans, we've been spoiled by not one, but 2 outliers. Because we did not draft Tony Romo at all. Tony Romo was undrafted.
Yep.
Right? And we
Dak
got
was
him through networking. And then Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick.
Thank you.
But all of their peers over time are all either
traded,
1st-round picks or number 1 overall picks. Period.
and all of them are either traded or cut.
But here's the thing, like
that's like the New Orleans Saints with what's the guy, Ian Book. That's like Ian Book becoming Tony Romo or Dak Prescott. But when you watch Ian Book play against the Miami Dolphins on Monday night, you're like, shit, he can't play.
That would have been
Because
like Ian Book winning 13
Go ahead,
games as a rookie. Yeah.
I do agree with this, Kevin Jones. It was a bad playoff draw compared to what the 49ers do well versus what we as Cowboys offensive and defensively do well. It was definitely a tough draw. But also, we've been a little bit spoiled in the fact that, you know, the value that we're getting out of a Dak Prescott is unprecedented. I mean, you don't find very many 4th-round talent quarterbacks then going on and make, what, $38 million a year?
Yep.
Whatever the hell he's making per year. That's an anomaly. Doesn't happen often. You don't find them. I think aside from his hurt season, he's putting up 3,000 yards a season. You don't. That's not normal.
Yeah. It's also not normal to have a bone sticking out of your leg 335 days before, prior to the start of the season either.
I agree. And people are like, oh, what do we do in this situation? You have to understand, at that point, especially with the production we were getting out of Andy Dalton, Dak Prescott was a leader of that team. Like,
yeah,
I don't think we had much of a choice.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what just happened to Steve. It looks like his computer just froze, but I think he'll be coming back soon.
Oh, there you
go. Yeah, I don't know. It's to me it's just like you're beating a dead horse at this point, arguing about Dak. I thought we were past that as a fan base, but I guess we're not. I don't know.
We're not past the pain. Let's be real.
Yeah,
we're not past the pain. So we're trying to find different things to place blame on because if we're being transparent, we're tired of this feeling. I'm tired of this feeling.
Hell yeah.
Every year, especially when we're competitive, we're like, hey, we're going to actually make a playoff run, and we never do. And we're America's team. Why? Because we were the first America's team. F all you Patriots fans. I don't give a what you think. We're America's team. If anything, we're the original. Like, you're never going to replace the original. It's that simple.
Yep.
So for us to have that standard, especially as a fan base, and then go through this essentially every time we make the playoffs, we need something to pin it on because we just can't accept the fact that at this point, this is where we are.
Yep.
This is who we are.
And to that comment that Steve just highlighted, he was actually a 2nd-round projection, but he had the off-the-field incident with the DWI right before the draft began, and that ultimately is what pushed him down the draft board quite a bit. And so Jerry Jones was one of the few willing to take a shot and got him probably 2 rounds later than he should have been. And if we're being honest, looking back, 3 rounds later than where he should have been taken just because of what he's got between the years. So
we've had good success with that. Collins. I mean, we've been finding good talent later round supplemental draft, and we have since I can recall being a fan.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's been great lately.
This team was trying to draft guys. This team was trying to draft Paxton Lynch.
Get that shit out of here.
In the 1st round, they were trying to trade back in and draft Paxton Lynch. The Broncos beat us to it. That's number 1.
He's not even in the league.
These are just
So I said they're either traded or cut.
These are people that are out of football.
Yeah.
Right? They were going to draft and I know this for a fact, they were going to draft Connor Cook from Michigan State.
Yep.
Who ended up going to, at the time, the Oakland Raiders, who was out of football. These are facts. Dak Prescott is drafted with the expectation that he's going to be the third string quarterback and develop. One Kellen Moore. People forget this. BA, I know you remember. Lando, I know you remember. 2015, last game of the season, we lose to Washington. There was a certain individual that started at quarterback that game that threw for 400 yards. That was one
Dude.
Kellen Moore.
Yep.
That was your starting quarterback. If you want to do, if you ever want to answer trivia about who was the starting quarterback, who started the last game of Dallas before Dak had his first start, the answer is Kellen Moore.
Mm-hmm.
He threw for 400 yards in that game.
Yep.
To Terrence Williams.
Yep.
All of these names
Shout out
that
Dave.
are out of the that are
Bryce
that are
Butler.
not even in football right now. Okay. Now, again, Richard Corrigan, I'm going to get to your super chat. I appreciate the 154 people that are still in here.
Yeah, man, this has been
Freaking
awesome, y'all.
passionate. I want to
For
talk
real.
to us right now.
This has been
That's a
freaking
lot,
Shit, I missed
especially
the
for our
super chat. What
Cowboys
was it?
streams.
Yeah.
Richard, I'm gonna get to the divisional picks in a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll ask Lando, but I want to finish this in BA. But I'm gonna finish this point with Dak, since everybody wants to hyper fixate on Dak Prescott, and this is something I've said before with a lot of Cowboys fans. So many of y'all, and BA knows where I'm going with this. So many of y'all only watch Cowboys games throw for throw.
I love this point.
So many of y'all only watch Cowboys games play for play. And the rest of the games of the NFL throughout the regular season, you watch them from a fantasy perspective in terms of what numbers did that person put up, or a highlight video. Or with fantasy has now created, we had what they call the NFL, what's it called? The package that DirecTV has where you can see all the games.
Red zone.
Oh, red zone, yeah.
Now fantasy has red zone, right? So now with red zone, you see highlights.
We ain't watching games no more, y'all.
You're not seeing games. You don't see Matthew Stafford's flaws.
Nope.
That's why people today, I see Harsh Singh in here. Haresh is an Eagles fan and a Chiefs fan, believe it or not. But I respect him because he is not from our country. He is from overseas. He came here.
Oh, that's
learned
cool.
American football.
Heck
Super
yeah.
dope guy. I
That's
love
cool.
him. And he's a student over at UT. And me and him, we argue every week. Me and him. And I love you, brother. But because he has multiple teams. But Haresh says, well, this and that and this and that. I'm like, brother, are you watching them throw for throw? Are you watching them play for play? Because we have this ridiculous microscope on Dak. But then we have people. But then when Matthew Stafford throws picks, and everybody else in the league throws bad balls or throws something into the stands, nobody gives a shit because we didn't see it.
By the way, Matt Stafford had 4 picks in 5 quarters going into week 18.
You know what? Hey, with the YouTube
Haresh is like,
culture
shit,
that
what did
we
I do?
have,
I just came into the chat and I already got called out.
I'm just saying, with the YouTube chat with the YouTube culture that we have, people don't watch entire games. They'll go and watch the highlights and only see the positives without seeing the negatives or the struggles. And that's what we're basing things off of.
Yeah, that's just the world we live in now too, man. It's like hard to not get it, like fall into that trap. Like the media can paint whatever narrative they want about who our players are. They can do whatever they want. And if you don't do your own research, then you have flawed opinions because you're being fed stuff and you're only regurgitating clickbait.
Thank you, Design Network. Dimple Thank you for the super chat. I don't know what you mean by MVP. I don't know what that means. I want to go back to Richard's point because he did give us some money. So, and Richard, by the way, for those who don't know, and I'm gonna give you a shout out if you don't mind, Richard. Y'all, Richard is stationed out in Korea, in South Korea. He is an active military. He's on active duty right now. Richard doesn't get to see his wife, and I've gotten to know him a little bit behind. I've gotten to know you a little bit behind the scenes. I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but I just really appreciate the support you've had for years on this channel, and me keeping you up to date with Texas Longhorns and all that. And I always will do that. I don't have a problem with that. I did that for my friends Clint and Jeremy, and you saw what they did. They went and started a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, that's
Texas
so awesome.
Football Talk, and they're doing an awesome job. And Richard, I appreciate what you do. I've seen some of your stuff on Facebook, and you and your beautiful wife and your kids and everything. Love you, brother. And thank you for your service, first and foremost.
Yes.
But I see you over here with the tighten up. I'm gonna be real with you, Rich. I'm gonna be real with you, Richard. After I've said all that stuff, y'all are in trouble. Whether you face Joe Burrow or whether you face the Winter Soldier from Buffalo.
They got Joe Burrow.
They got Joe Burrow?
They got Joe Burrow.
They got Joe Burrow?
Yep. They play Saturday at 3:30.
I love you. He said Japan. Excuse me. He's not in Korea, guys. I apologize. I'm not, no disrespect. I want to make sure I get this right. Thank you for correcting me, Richard. Thank you for your service, sir. He said tighten up. And thank you for the super chat. You didn't have to do that. But you're a nice guy. I told you don't need to give me money to talk. You can talk to me. I'll always see your comments because I don't even know what time it is over there. You're probably supposed to be working right now and defending our country, but you're talking to me. You're talking to BA and you're talking to Lando. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But Richard, listen, while you're holding your service pistol, y'all about to get cooked by Jamar Chase.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. Not so fast. You pull out the Corso. They're not so fast. And part of my bias, I'll admit, is having that Texas A&M fight Nagy and Ryan Tannehill at QB. With it, I think this comes down. Hey, how healthy is Derrick Henry? He's been activated. He's
gonna be ready.
He's supposed to be ready. How healthy is he? Because we're talking about a guy who was still top 5, top 6 in rushing and didn't play the second half of the season. That's a game changer.
Yeah.
Now, I think Vrabel is also heavily underpaid as a head coach. What he's able to do with that defense. Yeah. Do I think that it's an easy win? Absolutely not. But the Titans are the 1 seed for a reason, and I think that that's something the Bengals have to overcome, especially in Tennessee with that defense. If Henry's healthy, hey, you're going to get a heavy dose of him. And we just talked about we just saw what a good play action can do. What does Tennessee do well? Run the ball, come out, play action, hit those 2 receivers on the outside.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah. To me, I know we just got our butts kicked, but San Francisco is like the lesser tiered version of what the Tennessee Titans are. And I actually do believe the Tennessee Titans are the best team in the AFC. I believe they're going to win this week. And I said on Twitter in week 8 that they were the best team in the NFL right before David Long got injured. So having him back and healthy again, man, their defensive front is lethal. They play so physical. That team beats you up from start to finish. So, yeah, I can't wait to see that game. I don't know who's going to win. I probably won't bet it. But my gut has been all along that the Titans are the team to beat in the AFC. So we'll see if that's true. But
I'm right there with you. I probably wouldn't bet it either. I have a slight bias on the Bengals too. My cousin, shout out to the RB coach there, Justin Hill. That's my cousin. He's a coach on the Bengals. So I'm always a family first guy. So I definitely want them to pull out and make history. Yeah. But it's a tough matchup.
That's awesome.
It's a very tough matchup. If they come out fast, I think they have a chance. If they don't, I think that, I mean, hey, if Tennessee gets a lead on you, good luck, because they're going to play stout D, and then you're going to get a 260-pound 4-4 running monster coming at you. I mean, Steve talked about a silverback gorilla and Trent Williams. This is a silverback gorilla playing running back.
Yep.
Like, that's tough to defend. You know,
it's going to be a great game.
I'm hoping for it, and I think it will be too. You know, I'm curious to see what the weather's going to be like too. I mean, Tennessee, the East Coast is getting hit by a storm right now. Does that carry the next week? Does that factor into it?
Yeah.
You know, because if the weather's playing a part into a high-flying offense, that favors Tennessee even more. So I'm very curious about a lot of things in this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Bengals defense, they do have to stop Henry. I think their secondary is highly underrated.
Yeah.
Chidobe Awuzie, former Cowboy, is playing out of his mind this year.
What's the status on Hendrickson?
It's a good question, because he's been a beast for a pass
he left. Yeah, he left the game last week. I wanted to say it was a concussion, or like in the playoffs, the playoff game against the Raiders. I think he got a concussion, so I'll be curious to track his status for that game. That'd be a big one.
That would be. I would say with the protocol coming back from concussions, now it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little quicker.
It's definitely it's 50-50, but I think that I would judge on the side of him playing. Yeah. Same thing with San Francisco. If Bosa doesn't come back from what I believe was a concussion, you have no chance, in my opinion. You have no chance. If he does come back and he's able to, they're able to have that 4-man rush and get pressure on what's his name?
You talking about for the Niners matchup next week?
Yeah, Green Bay. I can't.
Yeah, so it'll be Aaron Rodgers.
I'm over here thinking about his girlfriend and Divergent, or fiance Divergent, more than him. That's my bad.
And Shailene Woodley.
Yeah, I was like, I can remember you, but I can't remember you. All right. But, they don't have
this is actually where I want to end. This is where I want to end. All you guys that keep talking about Dak, I'm not responding to you. I'm riding with Dakota. Okay, he's my damn quarterback. If you bring up, if you're the one of those assholes that bring up his salary after what he's given to you, you can kick rocks as far as I'm concerned. He's my quarterback. That's a nice little I'm not talking about that anymore. We're talking about the playoffs. We lost. We were the better team. Period. And I'm not saying he's perfect. He's flawed. Very, very flawed. Very, very, very flawed. He's not the winter soldier. Okay? He's not. He's not the winter soldier.
Not a first-round draft pick. He's a 4th-round draft pick.
Okay? Yeah. Even Mahomes. Mahomes went 5-7 at Texas Tech and still was drafted, 12th overall?
Yeah. How many of you thought Mahomes was a generational talent at Texas Tech?
Nobody.
But
the scouts did.
Yeah.
Because the Kansas City traded their whole world to go get him.
Yeah.
That's the point. Even with them losing all those damn games at Texas Tech, Kansas City still traded all their assets to go get them.
Yep.
Buffalo went to go, or they didn't trade, but Buffalo picked Josh Allen. Like there's like the Chargers. They sat there and waited for the Dolphins to screw up and pick somebody with a bad hip. Rest in peace, Betty White. I love you. I miss you. Okay? I miss you, Rose, from Golden Girls. But that's who they draft. That's who the Dolphins picked at quarterback. Instead of picking Justin Herbert. And I hope you guys don't fucking poach this because I'm drunk right now.
That's
what the Dolphins did. They picked Rose from Golden Girls, who has a great personality and is a great hang, instead of the person that's actually the elite quarterback that has the John Elway arm and Justin Herbert. Just when you watch Justin, see, Brandon, let me tell you this. My definition of generational talent is you do something I've never seen before, or you have an X-Man ability.
Agree.
Something that is an X-Man ability. Okay.
I agree.
Those of you who are into comics, those of you who are nerds, you know what I'm talking about. You have an X-Man ability. That doesn't mean that if you don't have an X-Man ability, you can't be elite and be awesome. Okay? There's nothing about Tom Brady's game, in my opinion, even watching Man in the Arena. There's nothing about what I see from Tom Brady's game where I'm like, he's a generational talent. He's a generational athlete upstairs and mindset. He's a generational, but that applies to business. Like I put Tom Brady up there with like the people that like Elon Musk.
I put him up there with
how he processes stuff and how he's been ahead of the game in terms of taking care of his body and knowing who to work with, knowing who to align himself with. That's where I put Tom Brady at. But in terms of X-Man ability of just natural talent of like, oh, it's 3rd and 59. I'm going to drive a ball between the safety and this guy over here. There's only like 5 people on earth that can do that.
Yep.
Right? Or Josh Allen literally having Christian Barmore, who was the biggest bully in college football a year ago and was a first-round pick at D tackle for the New England Patriots, or first or second-round pick, whatever he was. Did they trade back? Did they have 2 first-round picks, or was he second-round pick? Because I know they drafted Mac Jones. Whatever he was, Christian Barmore was a bad dude at Alabama. That's the point.
Yeah.
Christian Barmore.
Oh, no.
Steve dropped.
Did he freeze?
He did.
Oh,
freeze.
he was rapping too.
Oh,
we got you. We got you, Steve.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Are
Hey,
we live?
and he was a second-round pick, number 38, second round.
Okay, Christian Barmore.
Yeah.
Okay, but my point is, Christian Barmore, who's the biggest bully on the block, has Josh Allen wrapped up around his waist in a playoff game, and Josh Allen threw him away.
He shook him.
Like he was food. Like he was a cub. That's a quarterback. I haven't even seen Cam do that, to be honest with you. Not to that level. The way he threw Christian Barmore was like, get out of here. Get out of my way. Get out of here.
Swatting flies.
When you think of Josh Allen's arm, that's literally the Winter Soldier right there. Okay? So there's levels to all of this. That's generational talent. That's something my own eye. I've been on this earth for 33 years. I've never seen anybody operate like that. That's ridiculous. Against a Bill Belichick defense? No, sir.
Come on now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to tell y'all here is there's levels to this. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Justin McGuff. Yeah. Are we live?
Are we live? Yo, these comments have been on point. I've been laughing at Dimple too quite a bit tonight. That man.
Yeah,
So-
Dimple.
Bro, I'm drunk as hell, bro. We lost. We
man,
lost.
3
I
hours
didn't think we
in.
were going to lose. Shout out to BUSR, the official sponsor, official sportsbook, official betting partner of Fanatic Perspective. Yeah, I'm drunk. We lost. I still got my damn lanyard on, man.
Yo, I was gonna ask earlier. That's actually impressive. I had to rip. I think I threw it in here. I ripped my wristband off a second ago.
I'm tired of this shit, man. Go ahead. Somebody else talk, man. We got.
I'm probably done.
I'm sorry to hold y'all up all night. I
Yeah.
know there's still a lot of people in here.
I have shit to do tomorrow. You know what?
Me neither.
This is a perfect use of my time at this point in juncture because I'm at this point. I'm thinking about opening up another bottle of vino, if I'm being honest with you. But we'll see how that goes.
Man, I was mad entertained though. I hope this conversation made me feel a lot better. Like I feel better right now than I did when we started.
Steve said it earlier, and I agree. This was therapy. We had to get this out.
Get some stuff off our chest.
We need
man.
to get that off our chest.
And then it's gonna hurt bad tomorrow. No pun intended. When we wake up.
You know what? It already hurt with me. It hurt with me. I was watching the game with my pops, and hell, the fourth quarter comes around, and he takes his ass in the bedroom to go to bed.
Yeah.
that's when it kind of hurt with me because it's like, shit, you know, I'm a Cowboys fan because of him. And this is how he feels.
Right.
And I'm sitting here enduring this. So,
Man.
you know, being here, being able to talk through these emotions, hey, this has been therapeutic. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up and yes, it's going to sting. But then I'm like, hey, you know what? We're just gearing up for 2022 at this point. And my cousin, he's still in the playoffs. So, hey, I'm going to root for him. And once it hurts to see this season come to an end. I mean, being an Aggie as well, I'm not sure which one hurts more. And not having a bowl game when you qualified, yes, that was a subtle jab, or losing this weight.
I'm not gonna comment on the bowl thing because
Yeah, we ain't got to go.
I don't think, honestly,
that is hilarious.
if we want, I mean, Brandon, if we want to go there, the bowl, y'all not having a bowl game benefited you because your coaching staff didn't give a shit about the bowl game.
Dude.
Y'all were trying to lock up.
Right,
Nobody cared.
Right there with Blake Boast. I wanted to see what he would have done.
Y'all
Was that the
coaching
fourth
staff
string
did not
quarterback?
give two shits about that bowl game.
Shit, we
Yeah.
would have run out there with a walk-on QB and gave it to Devin A. Chain probably 30 times.
There was, yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what would have happened. Y'all were out there handing out Louis Vuitton duffel bags instead. So.
Yeah, shit. Hey, you know what?
Hey, it is what it is, man.
Exactly. I wish I could get one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Me too. Hey, I'm trying to get one. I'm still trying.
It'll go well with my Kiss hoodie.
I'm
with
still
my-
fighting for
with
my
my-
duffel, man.
My Ferragamo belt. I wish I had it, but I don't.
I need me a. I'm out here on YouTube for free. I need me a Louis V duffel bag.
Hell, you too?
Yeah, man. Damn.
Wait, whoa. Time out. I see whoa. Richard. I got to address this. I love you, brother. What's ironic about this convo is Steve talked about fans not actually watching games and then dismissed Vrabel's coaching and the fact that we're still number one seed after starting 90 players, which is a record. I want to address this, Richard. Brother, I love you, but you just pissed me off, okay? Thank you for your service, but you pissed me off, all right? You're wrong. All right? Richard, look, and listen very clearly. There's multiple people in my life, and I haven't said this on the YouTube channel, to be fair. If I had a vote for NFL Coach of the Year, it would go to Mike Vrabel. Julio Jones
Retweet.
went out. A.J. Brown went out. King Henry, okay?
King.
Let's put some respect on his name. I'm not even going to call him Derek. I'm going to call him King Henry.
Yeah.
Went out, before Halloween?
Yeah.
And still finished in the top 10 and rushing almost at 1,000 yards. Mike Vrabel's the coach of the year, in my opinion.
Dude, they lost David Long for an extended period. He's like one of the best linebackers in football that nobody knows.
Nobody talks about this.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, brother, is the playoffs has nothing to do with what you accomplished in the regular season. I learned that the hard way today, brother. And I've learned that many years over time.
Yeah.
The playoffs is about who's hot, who's popping right now. The playoffs is about who's popping when we get there, when Cincinnati pulls up. Because, Richard, I love you. Please comment. What is your game plan? If you can address this, I will post it. I'll post what you post anyway, okay? Because I know you're over there. I love you. Again, thank you for your service. I appreciate all the good work you're doing for the country and protecting us. I feel safe. My wife and I can go to sleep at night because you're over there doing good work. I appreciate you, okay? You and your wife, Bobby. I love you guys. Richard, what is your game plan to defend Jamar Chase? What is your game plan to defend T. Higgins? What is your game plan to defend Tyler Boyd? What is your game plan to defend Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow,
Samaje P.
a.k.a. Kevin McAllister,
CJ Uzomah.
and CJ Uzomah? And I don't know who the brother was that sent me an email talking about I'm doing a bet for $25 first touchdown CJ Uzomah bet on BUSR. But God bless you. You won, brother. Whoever sent me that email, God bless you. I swear to y'all, I got an email from somebody that said, I'm going CJ. I'm just letting you know, Steve, I signed up on BUSR. I'm doing CJ Uzomah first touchdown, $25. Let's go. That was the email that guy sent. and that guy was freaking right.
What did that pay? I wonder. What was
I
the
don't even
odds
know
on
what it
that?
paid out, but he must have got paid.
I'm guessing at least fivefold.
Yeah.
So I will
But
I will
I
sit
will say
here
this.
and wait for Richard's response.
I
And
will say this. I think-
won't cut it, Richard.
I think I'll try to answer this because I think that the response to you, Steve, is them on the sideline
Yeah.
running the ball,
That's a
milking the
great point,
clock,
too.
not letting them see the field for
Yeah.
as long as we possibly can, and hopefully at the end of it we put 7 points on the board.
It's going to be a great matchup, man. I can't wait for it. I really can't. Jeffrey Simmons is one of my favorite people to watch. That's the dude that's lined up in the trenches, and you're not even keyed on the ball. You're just watching that guy blow up whoever he's seeing at that point. He's special, man.
You know who I like about Jeffrey Simmons is that's another reason I can't wait for y'all to get over to the SEC, because then you realize, oh, we're playing Mississippi State, we should win, and then they got 3 first-round talents on the D line. It's like, why can't we run the ball?
Oh, we
That's
won't be
what
on
we
here
get in the
for 4
SEC.
more
People
hours talking
Jeffrey
about
Simmons.
this. Yeah.
Dude's an
You're right.
animal.
You're right. He's a beast.
Richard said the same thing you said, BA. You don't control that clock.
Yep. I like it.
That's what their identity is.
I like
We
it.
talked about what's the Cowboys' identity. I have no idea, but I can tell you what the Titans' identity is.
Absolutely.
I know what they want to do.
Yep.
Facts.
Preach that. Yep.
There's one other person I want to address that I know is still in this chat, which is Marlon Tully. Marlon, please come front and center, brother, because Marlon's one of the guys here, one of the OGs here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area who I really respect his football opinion as well. So if you have anything to weigh in here, brother, I gotta get this thing up to where we can take some calls. I think that's the next phase of this YouTube channel as we close out this football season of Longhorns and Cowboys now is we'll start taking calls from you guys, right? And actually, similar to what we're doing on Twitter Spaces. Those of you guys, who are following on Twitter that are out here on Spaces, follow us. Some of y'all are talking reckless in these spaces, but that's okay. You get to voice your opinion. You feel heard.
I'm not gonna lie.
Get it.
I popped in a couple of them UT spaces, and it's entertaining. I'll leave it at that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, for those who are still in the chat and are my college football followers, once the Caleb Williams decision is official, I have Chris and Seth and Nino's Corner on standby. We will have emergency live chat. And
I think he's going to USC.
we know that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, it's a done deezy, but I need them to understand that. And they're going through their pain right now and tagging him and quote tweeting him directly on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
Fans are wild. We get it. And that's across college football. That's not unique to Oklahoma. But in terms of Oklahoma and the Sooners, and those of you who follow us for college football, we will be having a live chat discussion and addressing all the chaos, I should say, that is going on and the drama. And I'm a fair guy. I don't just have a panel with all Texas fans, right, BA?
Of course not.
We let everybody talk. We let everybody contribute their opinion.
I mean, I think that what OU's fear is they're going to become what UT has been since the 2010 season. Extra mediocre.
They shouldn't fear it until it happens.
I mean, hey, how much faith do you have in Dylan Gabriel to take them to a possible or contention for a Big 12 next year? I know we're on a tangent, but that's just a quick question.
He's good, though.
Oh, I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying first-time head coach, first-time quarterback. Sure, he's got a little bit of relationship with Levy. But do you see them competing with Baylor, who's really doing something on defense, and not to mention brings back that defensive tackle who just throws people around. Oklahoma State, maybe we'll see how good they are. You guys have an influx of talent that's all worldly essentially with Billingsley coming in and shit. You still have Worthy and Bijan back there throwing in Ewers into the mix. So you mean to tell me that OU's going to really come in, first year head coach, transfer quarterback, still a lot of unknowns and really compete? Is that what you're telling me? Oh, I feel you. I feel you. I do the same. I do the same.
Yeah.
You know what OU fans think it's going to be, and I don't blame them. I think what OU fans think it's going to be, and I'm going to talk on this more when we get on that. We'll take it back to football and finish on. Take it back to NFL and finish on NFL. OU fans think it's going to be what Texas Tech has done in basketball this year in the Big 12, where they've had so much anger towards Chris Beard leaving that they've like generated their anger into knocking off all these top teams and being a very successful, like what Mark Adams has done. Credit to him, and Texas is going to have to face Texas Tech.
You can
I think
do
on
that in
February
basketball.
1st.
You can't do that
Very
in
soon.
this sport. You can't do that
Very,
in
very
football.
soon. And that's going to be a very, very emotional, hostile game.
Yep.
But football is different.
You can't do that in football.
You can't do that in football.
No.
I don't care how much you care about the school. You need talent.
Yep.
Agreed.
You need talent.
It's
So
an embarrassment to be a Cowboys fan. I mean, we live in embarrassment. Yeah, no shit. As Cowboys fans,
it's an embarrassment. Sorry. Yeah, this statement here, it's an embarrassment to be a Cowboys fan right now. If you're talking about not winning Super Bowls, sure. If you're talking about your personal relationships with your friends of y'all talking shit between each other, well, who are their teams?
Yeah.
Because we're trying to get our 6th Super Bowl. So I hear you. And I'm upset we lost today. A lot of this, what we did tonight, this 3-hour, this is the longest live we've ever done on this channel. A lot of this tonight, and I thank Brandon for coming on. I thank Landon for coming on. Y'all go subscribe. Please go subscribe. There's still over 100 people in here.
I know. I keep looking at that. I'm blown away.
I'm blown away by that because that means that there's other people in here that feel the same way we do. Please go subscribe to his channel. Right? Like,
I have no idea how to check how many people are in here, but the chat's been
y'all go subscribe to his channel. That y'all don't know what it means to a content creator.
Yeah. It means everything.
And this shit hurts, man. We didn't expect to lose. We expected to win. Every video we made, all the energy, right or wrong.
Oh yeah.
Whether we were being homers. Go ahead,
I guess I'll shout out to my boy Savage. I told you I'd give you a shout out since your 49ers won, but I've been talking mess to him since we knew the matchup was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I gave him zero chance. I mean, I wish that I prayed that he stubbed his pinky toe every night from then until today. Didn't happen. I mean, can't say what he wished would have happened to me, and at least not on this platform. But this one hurts because, hey, once that I told him I'm not going to quit until that clock hits 000. And as soon as it did, hey, congratulations, your team played better than us. You won.
Yeah.
Facts.
100%.
Tough loss, guys. Landon, we'll regroup. Let me know when you get the all 22.
Yes, sir. I got you.
I would love just to go through your process with you and see how you chart everything. Even if I'm just a fly on the wall, to be honest with you, because
that'd be fun. And I'm still learning too. I'm self-taught. I'm teaching myself. So
I don't want to come off it like, people, if you want to say I like Dak, There's nothing wrong with saying that. I think he's a really, really good quarterback. I think he's an excellent quarterback. Is he the winter soldier? No.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Okay. But that guy has a run game all of a sudden and a number 2 defense in the NFL. So it makes a difference.
Absolutely.
But what I am saying is overall, I want to know what's up with our football team, where we can improve. BA, I've been open with you on this video, and I'll repeat it again. Brother, you were right. I was wrong about Connor Williams and my evaluation. And that's an area to improve. Now, do I think that there are 64 better guards in the NFL than Connor Williams? No. But do I think that the Cowboys can have more production with better accountability in terms of penalties and being able to hold up in pass protection? I'm now at that point where I'm there with you, especially considering his contract situation. That has to be something that needs to be discussed with him being pretty much up, right? And so regardless of what direction it goes, and there's a lot of players that are up for it, whether they'll be back with us. I know that Dallas is a place that a lot of players want to be. I know that we have a much better culture of development and positive energy.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not ready to throw out this staff altogether. I'm not ready to do that. No. You won't hear that from me on this channel. You won't hear that from me on this live. I'm not ready to go there, personally. Can they be better schematically against the chess guys like McVay and Kyle Shanahan? Absolutely.
Yeah.
1,000%. But net guys, I mean, and I said this on the video with Jimmy, and I'll end here before I hand it to Lando, and I want to give it to BA for parting thoughts. This was a very fun season that I'll never forget.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Trayvon Diggs picking off. You can't take away Trayvon Diggs doing what he did. You can't take away Micah Parsons doing what he did. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people we gas up today. There's so many people we talk about today in folklore, but they had very little playoff success. There's so many people we do that with. Michael Vick, one of them, right? Where we act like, I don't know. I'm not a hater or anything.
There's a long list.
But there's a long list of guys,
yeah,
their fault or not, that we act like they were time goes by, but we remember what they did and the plays that they made. That's the point.
Yeah.
Okay. Enjoying the process.
How people made you feel in certain moments.
How people made you feel. Yeah. This was the first football season I went through without my mom, who was as big a Cowboys fan as me. So for us to come out with 12 wins and have 12 good Sundays out of 17 Sundays, I'll take it, man.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be here next year. That's my truth. That's my point. Okay, we didn't get it done, and it's frustrating, and stuff is gonna happen, whether I like it or not. Stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I'm never gonna forget this season and act like nothing was worth it and everything was a failure. This was a good process. It was a good learning lesson. What we need to get to is, when are we going to get to having those great seasons where we also have the playoffs in combination with this long regular season we have now? Landon, what's your parting thoughts, man?
My parting thoughts are, first of all, that testimony is touching. I appreciate you being open and honest about that. And shout out to Andrew Green, too. I see that comment there, too. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. But to me, this is also just special. We've talked about all the other crap, so I'll leave all that for another day and for many days to come, shortly after this one. But for right now, man, just to get out of here, this season for me was special, one I'll never forget because of the people that I've met through platforms like this one and otherwise, and people on Twitter Spaces, through Mike Fisher, through you, through now BA. I met Jimmy today, who's been on your channel. Like, it's just been such a cool deal for me. I feel more a part of this franchise now than I ever have before in my life because of the connections that I've made. And again, that's to Steven's point. That's what it's all about. It's the memories, the stuff that we take away from putting our heart and soul, like, into our entire livelihood, our well-being into this team, and going all out for 18 weeks and then some, right? More than that, really, because it's never ending. It's always draft talk or preseason or, you know, training camp or regular season or postseason. There is no non-season. We're always in some sort of season of football. But this one, man, this was number one for me, not at the top, just because of all the things that the team achieved, and then all the relationships that I've built around it. So
for me, I mean, this is what sports does. This is why, to me, we have sports. You know, on a personal note, my best friend's mother this week was diagnosed with tumors along her spine. And then one thing that me and him really talk about, college football, Dallas Cowboys. So to be able to come on this platform, express these feelings, have these conversations with fans who share it, and then being able to see him text me throughout this type of live stream, I mean, this is what it's about. I mean, you know, that whole fanatic perspective, we're all fans, and I love it. And
Yeah.
I'm grateful for this platform. I'm grateful for it all because, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's what brings us together, especially in, you know, tough times for each of us, tough times for all of us. So, you know, I'll be, to your point, Steve, I'll be here next year, hopefully in a different capacity. You know, hopefully we get that win finally. Hopefully we can then start talking about where does Dak go from here? Where does the coaching staff go from here? But, you know, my parting thoughts is I'm just so grateful for the season. I mean, we're talking about Micah Parsons having a defensive player of the year type season.
Unbelievable.
As a rookie, not a defensive rookie of the year, but a defensive player of the year. Like, this is something we talk about, generational talents. We've had that conversation. We're seeing one on our squad. Like,
Right.
These are all just things that I will just, you know, I'll take these memories with me as long as possible. Also, you know, just shout out to everyone who's been rocking with Fanatic Perspective, been rocking with the channel. Lando, it's been great to chat with you tonight. I had no idea we'd even be on this, you know, same platform until we were going live. So
right, me either, man. It's been a blast.
But hey, you know, one thing I'm a huge believer in is iron sharpens iron, and you know that's something that Steve has always been a believer in as well. So anytime he brings people on the channel and we get to just chop it up, I love it. And I'm grateful to be a part of this. To Andrew Green's question, I don't have a channel yet, but you know, after this, it may be something that I do in 2022. Who knows? Who knows? I need to find my niche, and I need to probably figure that out. But because I definitely enjoy coming on here and chopping it up with Steve, Tran, Lando, and I look forward to doing this more because I can just feel it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for coming on and helping me with this, and just the overall community. Richard, I love you too, man. I love you too. Now that you're in Japan, I didn't even know you moved over to Japan, brother.
Yeah.
But
thank you
everybody,
for your story. Seriously.
You know, everybody out there that continues to support the movement and this channel, this platform. As Brandon said beautifully, and Landon has been a part of. It's what it's all about. It's what it's all about. And it sucks. You know, I wish we could have this as a celebratory video where we're, you know, kind of breaking down our potential matchup next week or thinking about Rams Cardinals tomorrow and things of that sort. But that wasn't in the cards for us today. And, it sucks. It sucks. But we still here. No matter what,
Still here.
we still here. Still here. And we'll always be here. I don't run from anything.
No.
Anybody, as long, if you're not nasty to me, now the guy that, rubs it in my face or whatever, if I don't, well, that's a whole nother thing. But like I said, every 49ers fan, I know Orlando's the same way. I know BA is the same way. I don't interact with people who are irrational in life, right? Like,
Yeah.
shake your hand, man. Good game, man. Congratulations to your team.
Enjoy that win.
Everyone.
Yeah.
All you 49ers fans out there, y'all showed up with fantastic energy today at the stadium.
They did. They were everywhere.
Y'all were everywhere. I was proud of the Cowboys fans that showed up and provided energy. And just because we provided energy doesn't mean that we're guaranteed to win.
Yeah.
That doesn't guarantee anything. But the fact that y'all did it, great. 49ers fans, great luck wherever y'all end up, depending on this game that happens on Monday. But net, man, I'm thankful for everybody I've met in those platforms, same way like Lando said.
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap this. Thank you to BSR, our sponsor. So many games tomorrow. Not just NFL, but just coming up.
Sports. Yeah.
Sports,
Yeah.
parlays, is Westbrook going to have 15 turnovers on the Lakers?
Big 12 basketball has been fantastic this year too, by the way. It's been
Great
fun to watch.
point,
Hey.
sir.
Yeah.
So have the Aggies.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know we played NCAA men's basketball until last night. I thought it was a typo when I saw 15-2. It's like, wait, what? Who?
Yeah. Every other week though, it's been lots of chaos.
No, and we'll actually have this is coming on the channel, which has already kind of been set up. We're waiting for football to kind of subside a little bit, but we are going to have some Texas basketball content on here. Basketball in general, I'm a big basketball fan. I love basketball as much as anything else. So we'll talk. I can officially flip that switch from football to basketball now. I can start to lock in and become. I know, man.
Become more indulged.
What's going on? No,
yeah.
I agree.
I usually take this season off for recruiting, but hey, we're 15-2. I might actually have to pay attention this year.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Gotta enjoy it,
guys. Thank you so much for coming on. You know what? No matter what, go Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, have a great night. Don't let this thing ruin, your memories of this season. It's a lot of work to do. Seems going to look different.
Very different.
But we always here, all right? 10 toes down all day, every day. Go Cowboys. Love you guys. Peace.
See you guys.